A tremendous Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, you can watch us live on Instagram, on Orders Nation Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. It is going to be, people are going to be fired up today, as you should be. There is lots to discuss as the Edmonton Oilers now trail 2-1 in their series against the Florida Panthers. And you can be concerned, but also at the same time, I would look and say the Oilers are capable of playing much better. And there's a few areas where they clearly need to clean up. Like it's painfully obvious, I think, the areas that are ailing this team right now. So we'll get to all of that on the show today as the Oilers get walloped. And to me, sometimes I think it's better for you. You'll get your team's attention when you get your ass handed to you like they did last night in Florida. Because from start to finish, that game was not close. Okay, I don't want to hear any excuse. Don't give me, the refs are against us. Really? How many power plays the Oilers have in the first period? I'm pretty sure it was 4. So even if you don't like the penalties they're taking, was every penalty Florida took a clear penalty and it was only the Oilers that the refs were screwing over? Like, I'm sorry. The Oilers, now, if fans want to be that way, that's fine. Fans can be irrational. But the players and the team, they need to refocus and get some damn composure because yesterday was embarrassing from the opening faceoff. The Oilers simply were not ready to play. Look at the first goal. Look at how many mistakes. Draisaitl loses his man. Nurse makes the right play, taking Marchand out, but then doesn't follow through with it. Right, Stuart Skinner, I don't know where he is on that goal. That is a comp. That was multiple errors by lots of different players in that period on that goal. So now you're down again, not even a minute into the game. So not good. And then you look at the first period. Now, if you don't like the first Evander Kane penalty, okay, I can get that. You're a little frustrated, sure. But Evander Kane, why are you even complaining? You high stick Marchand in the face. That's 2 penalties in the first 10 minutes of the game. In games 2 and 3 now, where you go to hit a guy and somehow your stick's got to be tickling his chin. You're like, what? Well, that's not a penalty. What are you talking about? It's a penalty all day. Stop it. The Oilers had 4 power plays in the first period. 4. Leon Draisaitl, your best trigger man. How many shots did he have? None. Okay, their power play wasn't good at all because they weren't ready to play. They took a too many men on the ice penalty. Not with 1 extra guy, with 2. There were 7 skaters, on the ice. That was the easiest too many men penalty you'll ever be called. And hey, I like Chris Knobloch's little cheeky comment. Hey, they got it right, but I wish they were reffing game 2. Sure. I talked to Dave Jackson about that one. He had an opinion that I wasn't sure. You know what? Did it disrupt the play? Arvidsson was going wide anyway. So it's a 50-50 call. But the Oilers one was a blatant penalty. And who cares what happened last game? Last game's irrelevant. You had too many men on the ice. You had 7 skaters and a goalie. It wasn't even close. But here's the thing. Your power play did a whole lot of nothing in the first period. Nothing. Right? And the Oilers, hey, Stuart Skinner's got to play better. The first goal, I think it's a terrible goal. I'm sorry. Like, what are you doing? Fish out of water. Draisaitl lost his man. Nurse lost his guys. Comedy of errors. But the goalie, there's no reason to make that play a minute in to a Stanley Cup final game. Okay, that just showed me the team wasn't ready. Too many guys not ready to play. Now, the third period, you know what? Honestly, I don't care about the third period. The only thing that kind of annoys me is the refs just hand out 10-minute misconducts like they're candy at Halloween. Like, you just had to do something to get a 10-minute misconduct. Oh, no, these guys are roughing each other. Oh, we better give them a 10. Right? Why did Nurse and Gadjevich get a 10? Both guys want to fight. They had a spirited fight. Why is that all of a sudden a 10-minute misconduct? Right? Like, give me a break. Anyway, the game was over by then. Right? Like, to me, it doesn't matter. It's 4-1. The game's over. The Oilers pulled it close. 2-1, and then, again, some errors. John Klingberg, he's going behind the net. Yeah, I get that he falls into the ref, sure. But that wasn't even the right play. John Klingberg stopped behind the net. Reverse the flow. I thought the Oilers' execution last night again, was bad because you know what? They're chasing the game. Chasing the game way too often. Do you know how many minutes the Oilers trailed against Dallas in 5 games? How about 14 minutes and 2 seconds? The entire series. And that was all in the third period of game 1. That's it. The Oilers got off to good starts. They were prepared. They were composed. They were professional. Right? Vegas tried to get them off their game. They didn't rattle. The Oilers last night got rattled. And I actually think it's 3 games in a row where the Oilers have let their emotions get the best of them in the first period. The Oilers have taken 10 minor penalties in the first period. You know how many penalties they had in the first period of the entire Dallas series? 5 in 5 games. They had 8 in 5 games against Vegas. They got 10 already. And there's some obvious penalties. In game 1, Corey Perry took 2 calls. They were blatant penalties. Now, I know the first one's an accident, but you tripped the guy right off the face-off. Penalty. Then the next time you high stick him in the face. It's a penalty. Evander Kane, high stick in the face. Those are penalties all day long. Stop whining about, oh, geez, these guys. Florida will try to goad you into it. This is the Stanley Cup final, for Pete's sakes. Be professional. Be ready to play. Control your emotions. Let the fans yell and scream. But you don't need the players on the ice. Oh, well, they're getting away with more than us. That's what losers do. I'm sorry. Losers find excuses, and they're like, oh, that's why we lost. Look in the mirror. Be more composed. That's just a fact. Be more composed. And they should have learned this from last year. But to me, the most disappointing part of last night was right from the drop of the puck, the Oilers were not ready. They trailed basically the entire game. 59 minutes and 4 seconds. Not tied, ever, trailed. The game was tied for a whopping 56 seconds. That's it. Right? It's not good enough. The Oilers have led in total, so there's, with all the overtimes, this series has played 227 minutes and 34 seconds. And the Oilers have led for 27 minutes. That's 11.9% of the games. 11.9. They led for 75% of the series against Dallas. And remember, they only trailed for like 4% of the time. That's it. The others was tied. There's going to be ties. I get it. But the Oilers, they're chasing the game way too much in this series because they can't control their emotions early in the game. I get Florida. They want to play aggressive. You want to match their aggressiveness. But you got to match it by being smart. You don't need to have a body check that results with your stick up in his chin. Full stop. You don't. You can't have 7 guys on the ice in a line change 10 minutes in to the game. That just shows me you're not prepared. You're not focused. They weren't. They got rattled. Now, it's one game. That's the great part for the Edmonton Oilers. It's one game. You don't lose the series on one game. You get a win on Thursday. Now you're tied. It's a best of 3, and you have 2 out of the 3 at home. Right? It's not a cause for massive panic because we saw what happens when they panic. They panicked early in that game, and it was lights out Irene. They were never really in that game. They kept getting power plays that didn't create much. And then when they did get good looks, what did Kevin Woodley say on the show yesterday? If the Oilers shoot on the ice one more time on Sergei Bobrovsky in tight, I'm going to lose my mind. Well, what happened? Connor McDavid comes in. He's got a great look. Where does he shoot? Right on the ice. And Bobrovsky makes that save look routine. He made that, he'd look like a dad playing mini sticks, and the 6-year-old was shooting. Ha-ha! Nothing. Like, I'm sorry. The Oilers to a man. They're not good enough right now. They got to be better in Florida. Your best players need to be better. This is now 5 games that they have played in Florida in the Stanley Cup final. McDavid has points in one of those games. Game 5 last year. Now, it was a great game. He had 4 points. But he has nothing else in the other 4 games. Like, that can't happen. You can't expect to win when your best players don't produce. It's just that simple. Now, you can win some games. But that's 5 times now in Florida where you've gotten offensive production from your best player once. Same with Draisaitl. They got to be better. Right? Like, how can you have that many power plays in the first period and Draisaitl has no shots on goal? What the hell are you doing? Draisaitl finished the game with no shots on goal. Leon Draisaitl, your best shooter. Right? Corey Perry is 40. He's starting to get gray hairs in places, for God's sakes. And he leads their team in shots with 5 amongst the forwards, right? It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. Right? Like Bouchard is taking a ton of point shots, but here's the problem. There's no traffic in front. There's no layered screens. Watch how often the Oilers defense or guys are shooting and the guy is off to the damn side of the net. Get in Bobrovsky's eyes. The ref has nothing to do with that. Right? Using the ref is an easy excuse. Sorry, I'm not buying it. The refs are not why the Oilers are down 2-1. They got controlled in every facet of the game last night. Every facet of the game. And it started right off the get-go. Like, I'm sorry. Stu Skinner, you cannot make that play on the opening goal of the game. You can't do it. There's no reason to be flopping, right? You got to be composed as a goalie. Leon Draisaitl, you can't blatantly miss your man. Can't do it. This is a minute into the game. Those are some very important players for your team. You've got to be better focused. You just have to be. So the Oilers, they need to regroup. Now, I wonder if they'll make a decision. Do they bring in Troy Stetcher for another right shot? Maybe. Because, you know what? Kulak on his offside, struggling a little bit. It's just how it is. Klingberg, the other thing the Oilers need to do is they got to go back to what they did against Vegas. Or even in game 1 against Florida. You got to dump and chase a bit more here on this Florida team. There was at least, and I stopped counting in the third period because by then the game's over. I counted 3 instances where the Oilers had the puck in the neutral zone. Florida is overloading on the side of the puck carrier because he's trying to carry it in or look for a pass, and every time, nothing happened. Eventually, they flip the puck in, but what happens is the far side winger had to stop and slow down. Well, now you're dumping it in, but you've lost all the momentum. So Florida gets the puck. It's an easy out. Watch when Florida dumps it. They know what they're doing. They cross center, and they're rimming it. And the far side guy, he's on his horse, and he's going in. Guns a-blazing every time. And they're pressuring the defenseman. The Oilers aren't doing that. I know the dump and chase isn't your game all the time, but you got to do it sometimes. You got to read the play and know when it is to pass it in, when it is to dump it in. And they got to be more physical, right? You got to lay some body checks because right now they're not getting in. Like, it was late, right? And a lot of their hits were late. Like, they're finishing the check, but the play's already gone, right? You got to be close enough so you're pressuring them to make more uncomfortable plays. And that's where they got to go. But as a team, from the get-go, they got to be better. I know we got a lot of texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Would you start Pickard? Personally, no, I wouldn't. I didn't like Skinner on the first goal, but I didn't like the team. I didn't like the whole team. You're not going to bench everybody else. And like I've said, to me, when they play at their best, Skinner gives you more. Skinner wasn't the reason they lost last night. I didn't like the first goal. Valid. But there was a combat. He's one of the guys who makes a mistake on that goal. Then we can go through the other ones. It was just, they weren't prepared and they got frustrated. Look at their body language last night. It's not good enough. Their power play, right? Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, you barely noticed them in the game last night. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. That can't happen, right? It just can't happen. So to a man, the Oilers need to be better. And I fully expect they will be. They've shown that this team, it's kind of their MO. They rarely make it easy on themselves. Now, they did 2 series against Vegas and Dallas. I'll give them credit. They dominated those series. Now, Florida's a little bit different of a beast, but they even showed last year they dug themselves a pretty deep hole, and they almost got all the way out of it. They almost got out of it, right? They had that hole, and they'd pulled their hands up. They could see the light, and then it was a tough Game 7. That's going to happen. They didn't play poorly in Game 7. They only scored 1 goal, hard to win. But at least they gave themselves a fighting chance. So I don't think they're just going to roll over. But they got to be better in decision-making. Stop shooting the puck on the ice when you have time on Sergei Bobrovsky. And then if you're going to have your defenseman shooting as much as Evan Bouchard's shooting, get somebody in front of the net. Okay? You're not beating Bobrovsky unscreened from the point. It's not happening. Heck, it's not happening from the high slot. So get some bodies in front of the net, not to the side, not waving your stick up and down in front of him. Get your body in front of his eyes so he can't see the puck. And then when you get a good shot and chance, stop going on the ice because it ain't working. And then defensively, you got to have more urgency in your own zone. Make smarter plays. I think the forwards got to dump and chase a little bit more. Get some sustained ozone time. There's lots of areas they can improve on. Lots of areas they can improve on. But this is, I'm not even reading any text that wants to single out one person like they were the difference. Like, I'm sorry, you weren't watching the game if you think one player was the reason they lost last night. I'm sorry. You tell me which Oiler had a good game. Let's start there. Who do you think had a good game? You're like, you know what? I really liked how they played. How many? One? Right? I thought Bouchard's game was fine, actually. Guy played a boatload, had 9 shots. He was fine. After that, it's a pretty short list. It's a pretty short list. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 on the show today. Christian Rupp is going to join us. He's here for NHL Europe, of course, from Germany. And we're going to talk about just how big of a deal is Leon Draisaitl in Germany. And obviously, you know, you get some the German interviews. I think you get some different stuff from Leon in his first language. So we'll hear from Christian Rupp coming up. Dave McCarthy will be by. Struds, as always, will have the OC of the Elks, Jordan Maksimic, will be by. What did he see in week 1? Are we going to see a few more run play options? I was a little surprised there was hardly any RPOs in that game for Trey Ford. So what about the running game? What can you do to get in on track? Because it did a whole lot of nothing on first downs. Spec will join us. We got DVD. TR will be by. Also, Jordan Baker, head coach of the Stingers. They're back in action. If you need to just, you know what? Hey, I gotta take my mind off the Oilers. I'm fired up. Well, guess what? The Stingers are back in time, and you can check out some Stingers action tonight as they take on Ottawa. So we'll hear from head coach Jordan Baker. Cons, what were your takeaways from last night, my man?
Essentially agreeing with everything you said there, Gregor. Like, I talked about it on Fantasy Frenzy, and I didn't think anyone was good. Like, you know, Evan Bouchard, you get those shots, but I said, like, in football, do we give credit for a ton of attempts? Like, you know, we eventually got to get the puck on net and have smart shots with players in front of the net and find a way to get it in there. So I really think that this was a tough one. I think there's, you know, some coachable moments. There's things they can look at that they have to improve, but they just got to be smarter. And I just don't think that's their game getting into the nitty-gritty with the Florida Panthers. Like, they're willing combatants. If you want to play that game, I think the Panthers are more than willing to do so. So I don't really think it benefits the Oilers. I get they were frustrated down the stretch there and ticked off and wanted to show a little bit of a pushback, but I think it's got to be a great reset for the Thursday night game, and just turn things around. But I'm not panicking yet, right? Like, every time in the past we've kind of questioned the Oilers, I feel like they've shown us that you can't do that with this team. They still have McDavid and Draisaitl. Those two need to be a lot better, I think. But yeah, to a man, everyone on that squad needs to be better if they want to get back into this.
100%. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And we'll hear from Christian Rupp next. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, noodle, nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Canada's best bedroom sale continues at The Brick. Make your bedroom a dream come true with incredible savings, like up to 40% off bedroom furniture and select mattresses, up to $1,500 off sectionals, and up to 25% off dining packages, TV stands, wall units, and electric fireplaces. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an additional $500 off select brands of major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Waiting for this since preseason. It's playoff time, and Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
What's your vision for your community? At Vision Credit Union, ours is a thriving rural Alberta where kids have team jerseys, firefighters have the gear they need, and community kitchen fridges stay full. It's why we give back millions every year through grants, donations, sponsorships, and profit shares. Because when your community succeeds, we all do. Bank somewhere with Vision. Vision Credit Union. We see banking differently. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
It's the summer big red sale at Canadian Tire. Save up to 50%.
What are you doing?
These are the biggest deals of the season. From the rooftop.
I have a radio ad. You don't need to be up there.
The summer big red sale is on from June 5th to June 12th. Conditions apply. Details online.
Unwind at Triple Creek Golf Club. After your game, relax on our great patio, enjoying stunning views of the picturesque ninth hole. It's the perfect end to a perfect day at TCGC. Book a tee time at triplecreekgolfclub.ca.
Football is back at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth. Cheer on your green and gold as we kick off the excitement with the ultimate celebration. Thursday, June 19th, Edmonton versus Montreal. Home opener tickets at goelks.com. Game day sponsored by Edmonton International Airport. Go Elks!
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Brink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Tuesday. I know you're probably fired up, but great news about sports. You'll be back on Thursday, as will the Oilers. And now, will they be back and composed? Because that's a great news for Edmonton. They didn't play very well. Everybody knows that. Everybody saw it, and the players know it. And sometimes, you know what? That might be easier to get everybody's attention than have you think, oh, you know what? We didn't play bad. We only lost by one. No, they got spanked. And really, from the start of that game to the end of that game, I didn't think it was very close. And we'll see how the Oilers respond, because that's the only choice. What are you going to do? You gonna complain, or are you gonna move on? I think they need to move on and regroup, and away you go. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. The Discover Day sales event is on. You can lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save an additional $5,000. The final month, it's being extended. Great vehicles, better service at Volvo Cars Edmonton. And we are joined by European reporter for NHL Europe out of Germany. Christian Rupp joins us from Florida. He's covering the Stanley Cup Finals, but also doing a lot of features on the greatest German hockey player that their country's ever seen, Leon Draisaitl. Christian, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Thanks. I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent. So kind of give me Leon Draisaitl's been in the league now for 10 years, right? So can you, in Edmonton, he's a pretty big deal. Can you kind of give us a sense of what it's like for German hockey fans and the growth of maybe the excitement and the coverage of hockey because of Leon Draisaitl?
Oh, it's so important. I mean, if you just dig into this hockey bubble in Germany, it's all about Leon. So he's our number one guy over there, and even the fan base is like increasing. I would say like if you go back like 10 years ago, then fans probably would cheer for the older teams like Boston, Chicago, Pittsburgh, who won some Stanley Cups. But since Leon arrived, it really went through the roof. And if you ask nowadays in Germany, what team are you fan of? I would say like most of them would call the Oilers. So yeah, he had a huge impact, and he's by far the most popular player. If you read about it in newspapers, online presence and all of that stuff, it's all about Draisaitl for sure.
So, and it's unique because, here in Canada, hockey's the main thing. Kids get a hockey stick for their first birthday and they're playing mini sticks and such. And in Germany, obviously soccer is number one, no question. Right.
Right.
How is, obviously you had Dirk Nowitzki. He was a pretty big deal too in basketball, but, when you look at Leon and kind of that growth, are you surprised that somebody from Germany can not only make the league, because there's obviously been other Germans in the league before, but to be one of the top 3 players in the game today and trending to be a top 10 or 15 player of all time?
Nobody would have expected that. I mean, we knew when Draisaitl got over, when he got drafted, that there is so much talent in him, and that he could become a top player in the league. But like taking off like that is really a big surprise for us as well. And as you mentioned, we had so many good kids over there, like the Tobias Reeders, the Tom Kuhnhackels, who won 2 Stanley Cups, the Krupps, but they always had like bottom roles, right? And now you really got a superstar, and that's so important, as I've said, for media, for fans, for like kids getting into hockey. And you just have to look at the spectators numbers in our league, in the DEL, and it's just like going nowhere but up. So it's record after record, season by season. So I think hockey gets bigger thanks to Draisaitl, of course, as well, but thanks to all of the other kids too, like the Tim Stutzlers, the Moritz Seiders, the Paterka. So yeah, it's getting bigger, and yeah, Draisaitl is leading the way.
At a grassroots level, Christian, like how big of an increase are you seeing in more kids wanting to play hockey at a younger age? Because ultimately that's how you're going to grow the sport, right? And you're seeing that, like Draisaitl's now 10 years in the league. So a lot of these kids from the age of 4 or 5 are like, oh, I know, their parents talk about Leon Draisaitl. Maybe more of them want to be Leon Draisaitl. Has that, like, are there more hockey rinks now? What's going on as far as the grassroots level?
That's really hard to say. It's still like hockey in my country is like a very expensive sport. So you mentioned soccer being the number one, and what do you need as a kid to play soccer? It's just like the shoes, maybe the shin guards, and a ball, and that's pretty much it. And you can go out to the pitch and play soccer. And it's a little bit difficult with hockey because first of all, you need the infrastructure of having rinks. And in my hometown in Nuremberg, we have 2 rinks for like thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. And that's not much. And when I hit the ice, it's like 10:30 p.m. on Mondays. So that's a huge problem. And it's getting bigger, as I've said. So more kids are playing hockey, but that does not automatically mean that we're going to produce Dreisaitl's, Siders, and Stutzers like every year. So that's going to be tough. But yeah, as we as we can all see, they do have some impact, and that's yeah, really, really important.
NHL.com correspondent Christian Rupp joins us covering the NHL for NHL Europe. And you mentioned the two rinks. Now, does your climate allow for outdoor rinks at all? Are there any outdoor arenas in Germany?
Yeah, they are, but it's a little bit warmer than Canada, I must admit. So it it was quite fresh, quite chilly in Edmonton in summer times. So we do have outside rinks, but I used to learn skating when I was a kid, like on frozen ponds. And I must be honest, ponds are not freezing anymore in Germany. So it's like hard getting into the sport. So you have to like buy ice time. And as I've said, you don't have the rinks, and maybe some kids don't have the money. So it's hard to get in touch with the sport, I would say. And it's getting harder because no ponds are frozen, I'm afraid.
Now, you mentioned that, obviously there's lots of excitement for hockey people gravitating towards it. But what about just Germany as a country? Do people who even aren't hockey fans, do they respect the fact that a German is one of the greatest hockey players in the world? Or is it still a lot of Germany that doesn't recognize that?
I think the latest would be the truth. I mean, more people are getting into it, and the newspapers are writing about Draisaitl, of course, as well. But soccer is like the ultimate king. So there's a huge gap between soccer and hockey, which means like if you ask, or if you show people in some cities in Germany a photo of Leon Draisaitl, they probably won't recognize him, which is definitely different in Edmonton. So it's getting harder with also those helmets on, but on the other hand, it's really improving, I would say. So if you go to the hockey hubs like Mannheim, like Berlin, Cologne, of course, his hometown, then it would probably be better. And in the hockey bubble, of course, everybody knows Leon Draisaitl. And as I've said, it's getting bigger. It's growing attention for sure, 100%. So if you just look at the numbers, so it's getting better every year. But yeah, still lots of work to do.
Now, Christian, for you, when you're covering this, are you covering the Stanley Cup, or are you more covering Leon Draisaitl? How's it work?
No, I'm covering the Stanley Cup, the sixth time, I think. Now I started back in 2018 with the Washington Vegas series. For the finals, I mean, and I'm covering the NHL for years, so really almost my whole life, I would say. So, but just being here is such an honor. So, yeah, I'm covering the series, but of course, our focus is always on the German players. We also cover the Austrians and Swiss, but I think the last Swiss in the Stanley Cup final was Lukas Pisa with Vegas in 2018. So, yeah, we are here for the German guys. We got two of them in the finals now with Nico Sturm, who's such a great guy, and Leon Draisaitl. So of course our focus is on them. We try to get them in front of the camera or the microphone every day. And yeah, they got lots of interesting stuff to say.
Do you find Leon, getting to talk in his first language, it's got to be a little bit more relaxing for him? Like, his English is obviously very good, don't get me wrong, but you know what?
Yeah.
He's still German at heart. Do you find, is he a little bit, you watch him when he does the English interviews, is he more relaxed or more laid back when he's doing in German?
I think it depends on who's doing the interview. I think that Leon just needs to feel some kind of trust to his opposite. And I think if he gets to know you, then he's warming up, if that's the right term.
Yep.
So I would say it's pretty much the same. And of course, we can ask other questions than you guys do, because as you've said, it's his mother tongue. But I don't know if the difference is that big compared from English interviews to ours in German.
So give me your thoughts 3 games into the Stanley Cup final and what you've seen.
Well, I must admit, game 1 and game 2 is by far the best hockey that I've ever seen. So it's such a high pace, such a physical play. I mean, it's the best that I've seen so far. Game 3, you mentioned it, completely different. and yeah, a little bit chaotic, I would say, and lots of hits, lots of penalties being called. So that was a wild one. And as an Oilers fan that are listening now, I would say, yeah, keep confident with your team. I mean, the Oilers bounced back that many times this season, even in the regular season, especially in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I don't think that there's so much to be like sad about or being worried about. That's a bounce back team for sure. They are so resilient, and I wouldn't write them off.
No, I would agree with you on that wholeheartedly. The Oilers, they've earned the right to not be second guessed yet. They've shown they can bounce back. They just weren't ready to play from really the opening shift. They gave up a goal 50 seconds into the game and just never really got on track. Their power play, your best shooter's Draisaitl. He didn't even have a shot on goal the whole game, never mind in 4 power plays in the first period. It got so bad they even changed up their first unit power play, which I can't remember the last time they did that. So obviously, I think they got to mentally refocus and regroup and get ready, because Florida, the one thing Florida did really well, Christian, is they can irritate you. And I thought that last night they irritated the Oilers.
Oh yeah. Oh, they did. I mean, it's such an intimidating team, right? So if you ask any hockey boy or girl about how are you supposed to play a forecheck game, I would always say just watch one Panthers game. I mean, that forechecking is so impressive, and they are such a badass team. And yeah, I mean, just look at them like throwing out hits. Just look at the Bennett goal. Like, he dishes out 2 heavy hits in the own zone, then goes on to a transition game and nails one in. So it's hard. But on the other hand, I would say the Oilers let themselves get frustrated too.
Agreed.
So it's like the Panthers went under the Oilers' skin, I would say. And if you want to win Game 4, you got to stop that. So don't get frustrated. Yeah, keep cool like the Panthers did. So that was impressive. That was so clever. Like playing the third period like the Panthers did, and that's the attitude that the Oilers need. And why not just stick to your strength, like fast transition game, making good plays, like playing a fast game. And I would say I've watched the morning skate today, and they were like doing just that, like 3-on-2, 3-on-3, like fast breakouts and quick transition and all of that. So I think they just want to get back to their high octane, high speed game, and that's exactly what's going to be exactly, I would say.
Well, Christian, it was great meeting you in Edmonton. We'll see you back here for Game 5, and enjoy Game 4.
See you in Edmonton. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Christian Rupp, of course, NHL.com correspondent from Germany. And you know what? It's still a work in progress for German hockey, but from Draisaitl down to Seider and Stützle. This is a really good player. JJ Peterka. This is the greatest generation of German hockey players ever. Right? And it's led by Leon Draisaitl, because he's one of the greatest players in the game. He could find out on Thursday if he wins his second Hart Trophy, because if you don't know, that's when the NHL awards will go an hour before the game. The Rookie of the Year was handed out today to Lane Hudson, well deserving. In that one, he tied Larry Murphy for most assists for a rookie in 1 year with 60. He had the 5th most points ever by a defenseman as a rookie at 66. Had a heck of a season. So full marks for that, and they'll have the Hart and a few other awards given out on Thursday, which is a little bit different. They're trying to, I think, kind of go a little bit like the NBA. You're not going to have a huge end of season show. I think some of the players like, man, the season's long enough. I don't want to take another time out a week after the Stanley Cup final to go to the awards. So I don't mind that, right? They still have a little bit of a ceremony, but then you hand out some of the awards during the post season. That's the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars. Edmonton will come back. We got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll talk about a composure, man. It's key, and it happens all the time. Teams that, good things will happen to you, bad things. How do you respond? That's going to be the key. We'll talk to a coach about it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Mr. Rooter toasts the newlyweds.
A relationship is like a hot water tank. It brings warmth, but only if you start with a spark. Your love is the pilot light, and the burner is your love growing from that tiny spark. And the anti-corrosion anode rod is the sacrifices you make for each other to keep things from getting all gross and crusty. May your love last as long as a Mr. Rooter workmanship guarantee. For life.
For a plumber you'll keep for life, call Mr. Rooter.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Karius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
To Sports 1440.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Need a golf cart that works as hard as it plays? The Golf Cart people can help. They offer a wide selection of new and used models, including Club Car. Whether you're after a lifted cart for the cabin or a sleek ride for the course, they'll help you find the right match. Add accessories or explore ready-to-go options available now. Trusted by Albertans since 1997. The Golf Cart People delivers quality and experience. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or the fairway your way.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Oh, we're already here. We're here. That was so fast.
The Alberta government is building 90 new schools across the province, giving more communities more schools closer to home. Learn more at alberta.ca/schools-now. A message from the Government of Alberta.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-sized shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats, like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? By Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on to 46 on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. The Orders did skate today. They will, tomorrow might be an optional day based on past history, and then they'll get set to go on Thursday. We'll see. The Orders, they just got to regroup in a lot of areas. I think to a man, that team, I don't believe, was ready to play. If you look at the mistakes that were made in the first minute of the game by three different guys that led directly to the goal, I think that was a sign. You have 7 guys on the ice for a too many men penalty in game 3 of the Stanley Cup final. And not just like 2 guys jump over the boards and then are scrambling to get back. Like, no, that was an easy too many men on the ice penalty call. There was, like, they had 6 on for a significant period and then actually had a 7th for a short 4 or 5 seconds. So it just wasn't, whatever reason, it was an off night for the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll see now how the Oilers bounce back, because that's their only choice, right? That's your only choice. What else are they going to do? You worrying about the officials does you no good. None. And the officials aren't the ones, like, there was no missed calls or power plays for either team in the first 56 seconds when the Oilers are down 1-0. And then the Oilers had 4 penalties in the first period. Florida had 4 penalties in the first period. If people believe in, quote, even, can't get any more even than that. So Edmonton, take a look in the mirror like they have done before. And they bounced back numerous times. They did it last year in the playoffs. They did it this year in the playoffs against LA. And they really haven't had any sort of challenges since that. Game 2 against LA, right? They steamrolled them games 3-6, then winning 5 against Vegas, 5 against Dallas. In the Dallas series, they scored first in every game. They only trailed for a total of 14 minutes in the entire series, right? So they've been really good. Now there's some adversity. This is where they got to keep their composure, because I think it's fair to say that yesterday they lost some composure. And so, what does a coach do in that situation? Well, we'll talk to a coach right now as we get to our basketball report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. As we are joined by the head coach of the Edmonton Stingers, Jordan Baker, joins us once again. They're back in action tonight, taking on the Ottawa Blackjacks. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now, Jordan, I'm sure as a player, right, like you've been in games where you're a good team, and some days it's just you get unraveled, right? It happens. As a coach, now that you're a coach, what can a coach do to help the guys get back on track?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, when you're going through a tough stretch, is try to sort of refocus and recenter on what got you there, as well as, trying to give a direction of movement. Don't think about what happened. Think about where we're going. Think about what's gonna get us there.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Now, for your team, you've lost the last 2 in a row, and you've allowed, 104 and 105 points. So I'm guessing if you look at your team, are you saying, okay, where can we improve defensively? What do you feel you need to do on the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah, I mean, it starts from our leadership. Taking pride in that side of the ball, and making sure that, like you said, we're not giving up, 90 plus on a nightly basis. It makes it very tough, and we really got to execute offensively if we want to try to overcome that. So our leadership's got to do a better job of coming together and making that a priority. And then from a coaching standpoint, we've really harped on it the last few days of practice. We're making some changes in the lineup. We brought in a new player who's going to, help us on that end of the floor. So we're certainly pulling out all the stops to improve our defense for the rest of the season.
And it's not just necessarily a quick fix, right? Like, so how do you have realistic expectations as a coach? Are you looking, okay, let's fix this one area first, and then we move on? How do you break it down to have that improvement come in increments rather than just in one fell swoop?
Yeah, I mean, I think we focus on certain key times of the game. You think about a baseline out of bounds or a sideline out of bounds where, your defense is set. We've done our homework in terms of understanding what the other team's trying to execute and run out of those situations. And those are possessions where you can shave, 8 to 10 points off your opponent's score.
Okay.
So just focusing on some of those dead ball situations where, it's very much controllable. It's not open and free play. we're all matched up appropriately and we communicate the right way. That gives us something to anchor our defense, and those stops hopefully, continue to snowball into others and in other facets of the game.
One area or one individual really that is off to a very good start for you is your guard, Sean East, the fourth. He's, guy scoring a ton of points. Obviously you're loving that. Would you like to see some other guys step up a little bit more offensively?
Certainly. We've, over the course of my tenure as head coach, tried to be as well balanced as possible on the offensive side of things. But again, we're still only about a month into our season, and we have a lot of new faces in the locker room this year. So still trying to figure out roles and spots on the floor we can be effective. So Sean's done a great job of keeping us afloat. But like you said, we need to have some contributions for some other guys. And, I think we're scratching that surface, and guys are starting to pick their spots a little bit better. But, certainly looking for some depth in the scoring department.
Looking at that, offensively, where would you, you were just talking about some small areas defensively you want to improve on to limit some points. Are there areas specifically on the offensive side that you feel that you can generate more points from?
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. We're pulling the ball out of our rim way too often, which means the defense is set on the other side when we try to transition down. If we can convert some defensive possessions into some stops, some steals, then we're going and playing in transition at an advantage. The defense isn't able to be set. We're getting the ball to the rim, we're getting to the foul line, we're getting some more open opportunities. So we're really looking for our defense to create some more opportunities for our offense. And right now, that's been our struggle, certainly.
Looking ahead to tonight's game, what sort of challenge does Ottawa possess offensively? What are you going to have to be aware of on the defensive side of the floor against them?
Yeah, they have some veteran guys that know each other well. So they play really well together. They share the ball. They move it. They look for the open shot. They turn down good shots to get great shots. And so for us, it's a matter of, being engaged for a full 24 seconds and understanding the scout and the personnel and those tendencies that guys are going to have. But it's all between the ears for us. We need to be engaged. We need to be locked in every single possession. We need to value every single possession just like it's target time. But that starts from the first quarter.
So then looking about, are there areas you feel maybe you can exploit defensively?
We're going to certainly have a few different approaches than what we've done previously. Some of the matchups we're gonna try some new things, and I think we've got a great. We match up well with their personnel, what their skill sets are and what ours are, athletically, size wise. So it should be a good contest tonight.
Jordan Baker joins us, head coach. Also, Jordan, there was some talk you guys are looking at, maybe bringing in some new bodies. Is that still in the cards?
Yeah, so we actually recently brought in Chris Smith, who was a forward who was with Montreal last season, played his college basketball at UCLA. So he's a guy we're looking to count on to kind of shore up our front court a little bit as an import player. So we're excited to see what his debut looks like tonight.
Oh, so he'll be in the lineup tonight? Okay, playing up front. Awesome. Well, Jordan, best of luck, and hopefully you guys get back on the winning track tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Jordan Baker, head coach and GM, of course, the Stinger. It's a fantastic night out for your kids. To great seats, right, in the venue at the Expo Center. It's awesome. So check it out. They're home tonight. Then they're on the road taking on Niagara on Friday. Actually, they play Friday and Saturday on the road. So Niagara, and then they're into Brampton. So we'll see. They want to get on a little bit of a roll here. Defensively, they've definitely given up too many points lately. So that's obviously an area the coach talked about, and you heard him just a simple thing about inbounding. So maybe you reduce 8 points there. That could be a big difference in how they roll. So right now you've got Vancouver and Calgary really kind of dominating in the Western Conference, really dominating the whole league. So Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg are all tied for third, and what are they? Four wins now. Calgary's played more games, but still, Edmonton's gonna want to if they want to get in and maybe think still about trying to finish first or second. They're gonna have to start putting some wins together. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Planning a summer road trip? We'll make sure your first stop is at Fountain Tire. From tire checks to oil changes, alignments, and brake inspections. Make sure your vehicle is ready for every mile ahead. Find your nearest location at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers defenseman Jake Walman received two separate $5,000 fines today for action in his team's loss to the Panthers last night. Walman received a $5,000 fine for roughing forward Matthew Tkachuk and an additional $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for squirting water at the Panthers bench. And earlier today, Lane Hutson became the first Montreal Canadiens player to win the Calder Trophy since goaltender Ken Dryden in 1972. Hudson led all rookies in point production with 6 goals and 60 assists. The Stingers in action tonight down at the Expo Center hosting the 2-4 Blackjacks. Tip off 7 o'clock. Check out the Stingers.ca for tickets. And the Riverhawks on the road this season for the first time, kicking off a 3-game series in Kelowna against the Falcons. First pitch, 7:35. On the Diamond, a busy one tonight. You've got the Mariners taking on the Diamondbacks, Padres hosting the Dodgers, Giants in Denver. Jays, of course, take on the Cards once again. Twins host the Rangers and the Yankees up against KC. And the men's national soccer team will host Ivory Coast tonight in their final pre-2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup friendly at the Canadian Shield. That one gets going at 6:30. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host and former NHLer Terry Ryan, as well as Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM NHL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road, Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports, located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the summer Big Red Sale at Canadian Tire. Save up to 50%.
What are you doing?
These are the biggest deals of the season. I'm shouting it from the rooftop.
You have a radio ad. You don't need to be up there.
The summer Big Red Sale is on from June 5th to June 12th. Conditions apply. Details online.
Get incredible value at Triple Creek Golf Club. Enjoy our beautifully maintained, picturesque course without breaking the bank. The TCGC staff prides itself on providing an excellent experience with every round. Book a tee time at triplecreekgolfclub.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Thanks as always for listening. You can watch it at Orders Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We appreciate that. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. You'll get a free $50 play. Of course, it's your one-stop shop for everything from lottery, instants, casino, and more. And $15 million up for grabs tonight in Lotto Max. Good luck. Get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, boys, do you think they'll start Pickard for Skinner? I guess there's a chance. I'll say this. Just like I said in the LA series, if you think goaltending's the reason why the Oilers lost last night, and goaltending was the reason they lost game 1 or 2, I'll disagree with you. Calvin Pickard, remember, it's funny. Everyone's like, yeah, but Calvin Pickard played great. Yeah, he won games. If Stuart Skinner had an .888 save percentage, you'd all be freaking out. But Calvin Pickard has an .888, and everybody loves it. I don't understand it. So you can play Pickard, but if the Oilers play with the same low level of discipline, the same low level of execution, the same low level of smarts, it ain't going to matter. They got to play better, right? I didn't like Skinner on the first goal. I thought it was brutal. No question about that. But did you like the goal that Pickard gave up? Honestly, did you like that goal? I don't think you did. So, the Oilers are not, and I've said this, they're not built to have to rely on their goalie all the time. Now, they've won series when their goalie just had to be steady. He had the one really good game against Dallas. That's great. But for the rest of the months, he didn't get tested a ton, just had to be steady. That's what they need. That's how they're built. And the Oilers, as a team, from goalie out, need to be better than they were yesterday. Full stop. And I know that in Edmonton, it's sacrilegious for some people, but my job is to analyze it. You have played 5 games in Florida, and Connor McDavid has points in 1 of 5 games. If you think you're going to win on the road, you need your captain to produce more than 1 game out of 5. That's just how it is. So he'll need to be better. Draisaitl had no shots on goal last night. Their power play had 4 power plays in the first period. Now, McDavid had 2 shots in the first 25 seconds of the first power play. Had none the rest. So McDavid and Draisaitl had no shots on the last 3.5 power plays of the first period. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. They got to be more creative. Move around. Right? There are certain times in a game where in that first period, yeah, Florida scored early, but Edmonton had 4 chances to tie that game. You get out of that first period tied, you're like, okay, here we go. But they didn't. So I would look at, to a man from top to bottom, need to be much better for game 4. As we welcome in Terry Ryan, former NHLer, star on as Hitch on Shoresy, 2-time author. TR, how you doing? I think you're muted, buddy.
Apologies there. Thank you for putting that out.
Yeah, it's all good. Rookies. You know what, TR? You know what you just did? You were a perfect segue. You weren't prepared, just like the Oilers last night. They weren't prepared for the opening face-off, were they?
Oh, God. It was bad, man. That was bad. That was something to watch. No, you're right. There you go. You're always looking for metaphors and comparisons, right? It just pops into your head like an English major. Wow. And you're right. The Oilers, I didn't think there was much good to say about one player on the team. I really don't. Yeah. They got tattooed. They responded poorly. There was portions of the game look like exhibition. Some of them look like rookies that have been in the league for decades. I don't know, man. There was a lot. But the good thing is that it's only one game. And if the Oilers and their fans and anybody following them at all know, is that they tend to come back from major shellackings with a hell of a lot of spunk. And that goes for losing streaks, specific games, whatever it is, they respond.
Yeah, no, it's true. And they do. And they're going to have to now, right? Like, I don't know. Hey, you don't want to go down 3-1 again. I know they won 3 in a row last year against Florida, so it is possible, especially with 2 of those 3 being on home ice. So you could do it, but it would be a challenge. So you win that game, and now you come home it's tied. It's a best of 3. You got 2 of 3 games. You're probably feeling pretty good about yourself like that. Like they're not out of this series by any stretch of the imagination. They're going to have to refocus, Terry, because I felt like, they on that first goal, Draisaitl lost his man. Nurse ends up losing his guy. Skinner, I don't know what the hell he was doing on that play. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's no reason for Stuart Skinner to be making that movement that he did on that goal. Like, there's just none. Like, I'm sorry. And so then the too many men on the ice penalty, like, it was 7 guys, TR. Like, there were 6 guys on there for a good, 5 to 7 seconds. And the 7th guy came on for a few strides and it was like, whoops. Like, that's a clear show of how just lacking in attention to detail they were. And it just seemed to spread through the entire game.
Yeah. When you see those things happen, that's unprepared. You could make mistakes and you're like, were they unprepared or were they nervous or what? But having 7 players, not 6, 7 on the ice at one time, bad plays, just bad decisions. As far as the last part of the game, though, everybody knew it was over pretty much the whole third period. So I don't even really count that. You're just hoping not to get suspensions or injuries from at least half the third period on, at least that, right? So I don't really worry about that as far as momentum and the Oilers being prepared for next game. It was a bad one and it's tough. And Florida, it's got to be hanging over your head a little bit coming in. And not only that, Edmonton's really loud, but Florida has a reputation and especially playing at home. And so many guys play differently than they do in the regular season. That's why I really think to some teams, Sam Bennett is worth 10. Maybe the Leafs, that's another conversation, but because he changes so much going into the playoffs. And as a guy like Bouchard might as well, but I'm just saying the Florida pick up on that. And I think they're the most penalized team in the league, right? So that the fans know it. And it's a hard place to just go in with a team that's good and physical and tough and try to talk yourself into it. So, maybe they're just really like the Oilers came in and it's between memories and being back at the stage. You really wouldn't think that it'd be nerves, but it was the way Florida played. You got to give them credit. Right from the way they played their special teams. I mean, they had the Oilers I don't know, like the Oilers usually look confident on the power play, and it's just the way they knew what they were doing. They stuck to the system and they rattled the Oilers. And scoring first is big. I don't really know you can say much up to the Marchand goal because that happened in the first minute, didn't it? But with them getting that, and it gave Florida the opportunity to be reactive versus active. And, it just seemed like the Oilers were spinning out of control right from that goal on.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. And also their power play in the first period, like they had 4 chances and Draisaitl didn't even get a shot on goal. Like McDavid had 2 shots in the first 25 seconds of the first power play and nothing after that. Like they actually took Nugent Hopkins off and put him on the second unit to start the second period. And the second unit actually scored. So their power play was out of sync too. Like they looked very stubborn to me in that first period on the man advantage.
Yeah, and Florida is like Florida would collapse, and there was really nowhere to go. And then if there was if the puck bobbled at all, or if the Oilers took a while, they would have someone jump. They were playing really aggressive, but they were coming in. It was hard to get. What I'm saying, I suppose, is that you give them credit, but the Oilers usually can identify that, and if Florida are going to do that, it means someone's wide open. So for that not to happen with Draisaitl, he was the one you really noticed because usually he gets a few shots from over there, right? And he doesn't miss the net much. So he's usually a huge threat, and he was no threat. So that was obvious. But I do think that the Oilers in almost every category, including the special teams, just played into Florida's hand. You can see what Florida were doing, but I mean, there's a way to beat. You got an extra player on the ice. But it was the same thing the other way around when the Oilers, when Florida were on the power play. I mean, it was methodical, and the Oilers aren't that bad normally. They just look terrible. So I think that once it started to unravel, it really unraveled. And when you're emotionally drained, sometimes you need a reset. Side note, I think that might be why they practice today. I used to love practicing in a situation like this, just get it out, and now it's really gone. Now it's flushed out of the way. It's in the past. That's what I would have done as well. So, and knowing the Oilers, they'll come back twice as strong.
Tara, I read, and I can't remember who the coach was, but he had a philosophy after bad games where he would tell his team on the road, okay, you guys are going out for dinner tonight, but no one talks about the game. We are taking, because especially they don't play until Thursday, right? Like you can twist yourself into a pretzel overanalyzing everything. He says you got to get your mind off of it at some point. And so he would make a rule that if any player brings up something in the game, the other guy's like, no, we can't talk about it. And then the players came in the next day and they felt refreshed. Now, I don't know, if you ever do that, but like the Oilers last night was the first time really since last year, I thought, in the Vancouver series where they looked really out of sorts. Right, like they haven't looked, even in the LA game, as odd as it was. They just, they had a bad game, but they didn't look like they came unglued. And I don't really care about the 10-minute misconducts and guys trying to get their pound of flesh here or there, whatever. Like, if you're mad, maybe that's the way to try to get it out of your system either. But I just think they almost, even before the third period, like their body language from a lot of their guys, they looked really frustrated. And I just think they have to exhale a bit.
Yeah, that's go back to your point, whatever coach you're talking about, that that philosophy, go out for dinner, don't talk about it. You do that if you don't have to teach anything, right? You wouldn't say that to a team full of rookies in the first round, or you wouldn't say it to the San Jose Sharks or whatever team at any point this season. I guess outside of a few exceptions, but in this situation, there's nothing to teach. Everybody, like, it was so weird. People like Klingberg running out of room. I mean, I know we ran into the ref, but that's, the ref's there. That's, Barkov, first of all, is a great player, and that's what he does. He's a great defensive forward, but Klingberg running out of room there is just, for that guy, is just a weird thing to happen. And I know what you mean, the pound of flesh, but Perry at the end of the game, there's a fine line between like wanting to play competitive and like looking like a sore loser, like just get off the ice. And to get pulled into things, like, that's not like Perry, right? He's usually the guy doing that. And I love that guys came back, but it's the trade-off, say, with Nurse and Gadvidish or whatever you pronounce that.
Yeah,
that's not a great trade-off. Like for the Panthers are probably love it. I don't hate that Nurse did it. The game's over. Hey, it's not, but it's just a little thing that it just seemed that Florida had mind control. Skinner throwing it over the boards, and that last goal, Skinner, it would have gone, or not. Whatever the empty net like power play was, I think Ekblad scored it. Yeah, I know that goes in on any goalie, but just the way he looked like a pregnant rhinoceros on that one, like like he's trying to get one side to the other. It looked like a peewee goal, and those things don't normally happen. Connor McDavid, how many times did you see him get hit at the line going into traffic? It never happens. But these things were happening last night. They were just like, so clearly the whole team is thrown off. Those things don't normally happen now. Veterans and people that have been in this position can reset pretty easily. And I think that's what they've done.
Well, the good news is it's very difficult to play worse. So, you know what? I like what you said about, hey, coach has a practice today. You flushed out. Let's get focused on, because you can't worry about the past at all. The past is irrelevant today. Like for the Oilers players, you know what? It's all about Thursday. And it comes down to preparation, execution. What are your thoughts, Terry? I was counting. Now, I didn't do it in the third period because the game was kind of over. But I was watching the first period, and I had 4 situations where the Oilers had the puck on, and I'll just say it for anybody listening to the radio, the right side in the neutral zone. And they're coming up the right side, and they're looking for a pass. There's no pass eventually because Florida really likes to overload on one side. They really come, and they'll pressure the puck carrier. Then the person dumps it. Meanwhile, the winger on the far side, in 2 cases, it was McDavid. He has to stop and slow down. Well, now you're just flipping it in, and you're not going to beat the guy back. Florida, they cross center, and they're on a mission. They know every time I'm firing the puck around the boards, it's going to ring up to the other side, and my far guy is already there. Right? I think Edmonton, and I know they're not a dump and chase team all the time, but they need to flip it in a little bit more here and be anticipating when they see the guy going. All right, because Florida's attacking. They're expecting Edmonton not to dump it in. They're like, oh, Edmonton wants to carry it in now. So you got to say, okay, we're going to counter that a little bit here, and we're going to be smart. And when we're going to send that far side guy, and now he's going to get the puck, and now we're going to force them to defend a little bit. Because on every occasion, guess what? The play ended up dying right inside the blue line, and Florida goes back up the ice.
Yeah, I know, man. I was surprised the Oilers they can streak someone down the wing, give it to him, and then get it in, because the Oilers are good hitters. They proved it. I know over the course of the season. I mean, that's another thing that changed with the Oilers. Like, they go in the playoffs, and man, they've been hitting. They can really, and they can really do some damage, and if nothing else, create a turnover. But if you're not putting yourself in the position to do that, right? I mean, I think they're just as good on the forecheck. I really do. You wouldn't say it last night. And they were out of sync. Then they all of a sudden get out of sync. There's no point having one person do it and then nobody else be in the right positions. But that, to me, that was glaring. And again, I'm not hoping that these ultra-talented, world-class players like McDavid and Draisaitl, and go down the list, Nugent Hopkins, and these are great players at gaining the zone. But when you're not doing it and you need a few hits to get your team going, it just seems to me like it kills two birds with one stone, right?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Right. 100%. So we'll see the Oilers, bounce back. What would you do to defense? Would you bring in Stetcher as another right shot rather than having a lefty play as off wing? And then if so, would you bring out, who would you take out of the lineup?
I know. I thought about that, man, because it seems the players, he's got spunk. He's got some energy. I don't know. Do you take out Klingberg or do you take out maybe Skinner? Maybe go with 11-7. I don't know. That's tough. But I think I would try to get him in there, and then getting him in there probably I would want to shake up the lineup in some way. That also gives a fresh face to the team. Yeah, I guess the question would be which guy to take out, because I know I'd put him in. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Skinner, but Klingberg just looked out of sorts. But he's a veteran, and you'd think he'd be one of the guys that would rebound pretty well in this situation.
Yeah, I look at if you bring in, it's hard for me to take out Kulak, right? I'd be very surprised to do that. So if I'm taking and I don't think they want to go 11-7, so. Probably because Nuge, if he's still a little nicked up, then I'm going 11, and all of a sudden maybe now I'm down to 10, so I probably wouldn't do it. So the only other guy maybe you take out is Klingberg, and I know he's a righty, so that doesn't. You're still going to have somebody on the left side, but it seems Stetcher plays with Nurse, and then you just put Wallman with Kulak, and Wallman plays the right side. He seems to be the most comfortable on the right side, so you could do that. Now maybe you could just stay at the same and put Wallman with Nurse, and Klingberg with Kulak, and see potentially what that does. I just think I could easily see him just thinking with the exact same lineup and saying, okay, you know what? Like, we had one off game here. Game 2, we lost in overtime. I didn't love our game, but I definitely didn't hate it. And in game 1, I thought the Oilers were the better team for long stretches of that game. So, it's really only one game. So I'm curious to see what Knobloch does here. If they'll make any changes. I personally, the only one I'd consider maybe is Klingberg for Stetcher, because Klingberg just seems he's wanting to hold on to the puck too long. I don't think it's helping, and that's his game. But right now, like even in game 2, I noticed it. So that's the one change I'd consider if I was making a lineup change.
It's tough because he's been playing so well. It's tough for me to say those words, but I know it seems to work on many levels, right? It seems to work. The only thing that I would lean against is because he's played so well, above expectation for sure at most times since he's come back. So it's a tough decision, but I do think Stetcher adds some energy, and he's a good player, man. He's a great player. So I don't think you can hurt putting him in.
Yeah. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll return, and Dave McCarthy will join us next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
That you continue to believe.
It's not my clubs. Really, it's my swing.
Except it's already June, and you're still not playing the game you want because you continue to insist it's not your clubs. Except it really is your clubs, and we prove it every day. Fitted Golf customers continue to be amazed at how good they actually are when they use the right clubs for their swing. Why would you play the game you love but not love the way you play it? From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Visit fittedgolf.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's two things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
Handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team at Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reduce the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.324, Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. You do have no NBA or NHL tonight. The NBA returns tomorrow, NHL on Thursday. But what about the Toronto Blue Jays? Break up the Jays. They got the best record in baseball over the last month. Killing it to put themselves, they're actually in a wild card spot now. And then they are tearing the cover off the ball. And they're really only doing it with 3 starters. So eventually they're going to need someone else to, like Bowden Francis, man. Remember how awesome he was late last year? But late in the season, when there's nothing on the line, it's a little bit different because right now he is struggling when he's starting. What has he got? Like a total of 2 1/3 here, his last 2 starts. So they're going to need at least a 4 starter. So I got to hope that he finds his game or somebody else. But other than that, like they're killing it right now for the Jays. So they'll look for another win tonight against the Cardinals. Let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions and projects, which design, build, switchgear, equipment, new construction, renovations, and more. They got, of course, certified uniform technicians at actionelectrical.net as we welcome in Dave McCarthy. Joins us every Tuesday from Sirius XM. Davey, how you doing, my man?
Oh, boys, what's going on? Everybody okay in Edmonton today or what?
Well, you know what? I don't know. I think they maybe have calmed down. I think most Oilers fans recognize, like, the Oilers haven't really played a bad game for a long time, but they played a bad game from start to finish. They were, they were never in that game, in my opinion. They got down in the first minute, and then they got power play after power play. They couldn't get any real good scoring chances. They keep letting Bobrovsky see every shot, and he's pretty damn good. So I don't know, maybe try to get someone in his eyes every now and then might be a philosophy. quit taking stupid penalties, because I'm sorry, you don't need to finish your body check with your stick underneath the guy's chin all the time. So too many men on the ice, like 7 guys, Dave. Like, come on. That's like a men's league change. You know, even TR in all of his partying days on Shoresy, they're not having 7 guys on the ice on a line change, for goodness sake. So it was a tough first period.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like, that looked to me like game 5 and 7 in the Leafs-Panthers series. From the drop of the puck, the Panthers would get it into their opponent's end. They would cave them in. They would score early. You'd get into penalty trouble. And it never felt at any point like the Oilers had a chance in that game. Like, it was just deja vu of those 2 games for me. It's like, I've seen this story before. So disappointing for sure. You're right. Like, I made the contention on Ice Cap last night that was the first time the Oilers had played a bad game since game 2 of the Los Angeles Kings series in the first round. Since then, they've been outstanding. Even game 1 of the Western Conference final that they lost, 6-3 to Dallas, they were leading that game through 40 minutes. They had a bad third period, but it's not like they were getting caved in from the word go. So they have a lot to improve on from that game. But the good news is they know they can play better than that. There should not be a feeling collectively in their minds that, oh my God, we got nothing here, because they've been much better than that. They had a bad game. Now it's about putting it behind you and making sure you don't have it again. Because if you have it again, don't have to tell you guys, they're in a real tight spot.
PR?
Dave, I got a question. You being an elite member of the media,
elite,
is going to seem way off the board. But I've been noticing some people I'm watching them with, a lot of people are getting kicked out of the faceoffs, and I don't understand why, and I'm a player. Was there a rule at these meetings, or is there anything you know that I don't, why so many players are getting kicked out of the faceoff circle? Because I think it's a massive part of the game, and no one's really explaining it to me.
Honestly, Terry, I wish I could tell you, because I've been thinking the same thing myself. Oftentimes when guys get kicked out of the faceoff circle and then somebody else comes in to take the draw, what I see is basically the exact same thing that I saw in the first place, where the guy was kicked out. Like, I don't understand. And it is frustrating, because look, I know the old players line to the liney is, look, bud, no one came here to see you just drop the puck. And I get that. And I don't know why it's happening. Like, in past years, there have been egregious infractions in the faceoff where a guy's like leaning in before the puck is even coming below the linesman's waist, and his shoulders into the guy's chin, and you're spinning your leg around and you're trying to get leverage. And yeah, that's a faceoff infraction, but it just seems arbitrary this year. And I've heard other people who know far more about the game than I do say similar things, which reassured me that I guess I do have an idea what I'm talking about, because it is confusing. So I don't know. I really wish they would just drop the puck a little bit more consistently, because I haven't seen too many instances, guys, where it calls for a guy to be kicked out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know either. I thought maybe you had an inside track, because that's a mystery to me, and I played center half my life.
No, I can't offer you any better than that, Terry, unfortunately.
If you're the Oilers, Dave, do you make any changes?
Lineup wise, I mean, I think you got to go and see how healthy is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Like, at what percentage is he? And is he banged up to the extent where Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at X percent is not as good as Jeff Skinner at 100%? I mean, I guess that's the change you'd look at. Beyond that, I don't really see too many other options. Like, are you taking somebody out on the blue line to reinsert Troy Stetcher? Maybe. Like, John Klingberg got a bit of a hard time, I thought, last night. I don't think we're giving enough credit to Alexander Barkov, who made a tremendous play on that goal where Klingberg bumped into the referee and turned the puck over. Like, you watch Barkov's route, instead of going behind the net and chasing Klingberg out, which is exactly what he wants you to do, because now he's got you right where he wants you. He knows where you are. You're in his back pocket. You're not going to catch me, taking yourself out of the play. He flushes him out without going behind the net, and then sees the ref and drives him right into the corner. Like that was a play that's not getting enough credit from Barkov's standpoint. And then, the ref, what are you going to do? He's there. He tried to get out of the way, and Klingberg ran himself into a tight spot. But I thought Barkov deserved a lot of credit for that. And Klingberg's been good in the playoffs. He made a mistake. And so I don't really see a change on the back end. I think that's a bit of a panic move at this point, because the group that has gotten you to this point, if you're Edmonton, has been by and large the same group for a consistent run of games. I don't think after one bad game you start making significant changes to your lineup. I think you got to go back with the group that got you there.
Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us. Dave, Sam Reinhart. I know some people I'm sorry, but anybody talking about Sam Reinhart being worth $10 million? The guy scored 50 points once in his career. Okay, let's be realistic here. He's a 50.
You mean Bennett?
Yeah, sorry, Sam Bennett.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
50-point player. And I love Sam Bennett. I love Sam Bennett as a player. He's having an unreal playoffs, and he might get $7.5 million, but he sure as hell ain't getting 10. How high, Toronto, I know his name's out there. How high realistically do you think the Leafs would go on Sam Bennett? And when does it become the point where all this is another overpayment that's going to hurt us?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing you got to be careful of, because I know the cap is going up, but just because the cap is going up doesn't mean you start making poor decisions to put yourself right back in the position, if you're the Leafs, that you have been in for the last 5 to 6 years, where your core has been overpaid. You have to make sound, smart decisions. Now, the Leafs will have to offer him an incentive to leave Florida. And in doing so, that incentive is going to have to account for the fact that he'll make more in Florida at the same number if he stays there than takes it in Toronto. So I would think they would be willing to give him 9 over 7 years. I could see that, because they're not asking him to come in here and be an 80-point guy. They're asking him to come in here, play behind Austin Matthews, probably play on a line with William Nylander, get 45 to 55 points a year. Leafs are going to be fine. They'll make the playoffs, and then do what you do in the postseason. And that's where you make your money. And if you do that, I don't think they have any compunction against paying somebody for what they do in the playoffs. My goodness, it would be a nice change of pace in Toronto to pay somebody for what they do in the playoffs compared to the regular season. So I could see them going to 9. I could see them going to 9, because I don't think Florida will go beyond that number. And if it all kind of comes out in the wash from a tax standpoint similar, maybe he's inclined to take a peek in Toronto. I do agree, though, if you go much beyond that, you're really putting your team in a tight spot where you're probably overpaying. And you just cannot do that. That's what you have to get out of doing in Toronto, because if you keep overpaying for guys, it's going to run you into the same problem as you've been in for the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, where you haven't been able to build out the rest of your roster beyond your top 4 guys. It's the same case that I've been making on X the last couple of days, because I've heard reports about Mitch Marner that, to me, I'm almost falling to the ground, boys. Teams offering, getting prepared to offer him 14 plus, make him the highest paid player in the game for a year. Are you insane? I am sorry. There is no way in this world that Mitch Marner is a salary threshold pushing player to the point where he has earned the right to be the highest paid player in the game. No world. And if you're going to sign him to $14 million, you are going to hate the contract within a year. A year. Mitch Marner is a very good player, an excellent player, but he is the type of player, I am sorry, that should be a nice, clean, tidy, in and out, 8 years, $11.5 million, like what Sam Reinhart signed in Florida last year. Very good player on a very good team, but if you make him the highest paid player in the game, you are nuts, and you clearly have not watched nearly enough Leafs hockey over the last 9 years.
Yeah, 100, dude. Draisaitl makes $14 million. You're going to pay Mitch Marner $14 million. Oof, that is that's not going to be good, man. That is going to. And here's the thing: if Mitch, it's funny. If you want to take the money, then you always live with because people are going to look at it and they're going to compare you to being, hey, you're not living up to your standard. That's why I've always said sometimes, you know what, if people talk like everyone's like, oh, Bouchard's going to get 10. Well, if I was Evan Bouchard's agent, I might say, let's just take 9.95.
Yeah.
Then no one calls us $10 million player.
That's right.
Right? And it changes the psyche. Now, I don't miss that 50 grand a year at all because it's not even 50 grand after taxes. It's like an agent fees and everything. It's like maybe 22. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
So I do think that matters. And Mitch Marner, if he doesn't like the attention, as it's Toronto, and I can understand it, some people don't, then you shouldn't accept a $14 million contract and then be like, I can't believe people are expecting me to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
Can't have it both ways.
Like, there are very few salary threshold pushing players in the game.
Yes.
Very few. And just because you might be the best free agent in an available crop does not entitle you to the right to push the salary. It doesn't. Next year, look at the guys coming up. I don't have to tell you guys. 97. He will push the threshold as he should. Cale Makar in Colorado will push the threshold as he should. Nathan McKinnon, when he signed, pushed past McDavid, albeit by a slight amount. He did push past. He was that level. People said, oh, Mikko Rantanen. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I guess you could make an argument that Mikko Rantanen could be included in that echelon of players, but I'll tell you a team that didn't think so, the team he played for. So clearly not everybody thought he was, because they said, no, we can't pay you that much money, so you got to move along. So, there's an argument to be made that he is not. And look at what Rantanen has done in the playoffs in his career compared to Mitch Marner. It's not even night and day. And that is what you should be paying guys on. I am sorry. That is what you should be paying guys on. So, if you've seen from Mitch Marner what you like, and I know I've said it here before, it depends what you value. Do you want a guy to help you get into the playoffs? Then Anaheim, by all means. Utah, by all means. Make the signing. He'll help you get in the playoffs. He won't help you win a Stanley Cup at $14 million.
I love it. Davey's fired up. TR?
Dave, top two voting for the Calder Trophy. Lane Hudson, Dustin Wolf. Were you surprised with either?
No, that's what I would have voted. I made the case that Dustin Wolf should be involved in the Calder Trophy voting for most of the year. I thought he was the primary reason why the Calgary Flames were even within a stone's throw of the playoffs. He was that good that often. And so I totally agree with him being second, but he wasn't as good as Lane Hudson, who helped the Montreal Canadiens actually get into the playoffs and was dynamic as a young defenseman. And I thought he steadily improved as the year went on. In October and November, everybody was getting all frisky about him. I was looking like, can the guy play defense? That would be nice. As the year went on, he started to get much better defensively, started to understand puck management better, when it's time to take a risk, when I've got to play, when I don't. And as the year went on, he got better and really showed significant strides in his game. It was a big part of a team that surprised a lot of people. So he deserves a ton of credit, and he was my Calder Trophy vote if I had one, which I don't. I'm not allowed to. I work for the league. So I think I'm choosing to believe that's the reason. Because if I didn't, I would have a vote. I should have a vote if I didn't. Macklin Celebrini was very good, but he wasn't as good as those two guys. And that's not an indictment on Macklin Celebrini. Doesn't mean he's a failure by any stretch of the imagination. He had a really good year in San Jose. And I thought he continued to get better himself as the year went on. And I think he'll be a big part of San Jose's future in helping them turn into a quality team. But it was a good crop of rookies. And I in this case, I think the voting was appropriate.
Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. Dave, one change the Oilers make in Game 4 that will lead to a better result.
Discipline. They spent the entire first period in the penalty box last night. And what that does is it takes McDavid really out of the game. It takes Leon Draisaitl out of the game. They don't get touches. They're not feeling it. They don't get to skate up and down the ice. It prevents you from rolling lines over. And one of the things that the Oilers have had success with this year is their depth. They've been getting contributions from up and down their lineup, but they weren't able to let guys get into the game. When they did get on the ice, they were on their heels trying to throw it down the ice and get off the ice. So discipline, because it's not like those penalties were ones that prevented goals where you haul a guy down in front of the net where he otherwise has a tap into a 4x6. These were stick fouls 175 to 195 feet from your net. Like, I get the desire to finish your checks, but you said it at the beginning, and I totally agree. Keep your stick down, and don't tell me that I didn't have control of it. You're in the National League, and Evander Kane, I guess I'm talking to you here. You got to be better than that. You have control of your stick. You know where it is. You got to keep it down. You cannot get your stick up into a guy's face behind their net. That's stupid. Too many men on the ice penalty. People will look at the coach and give him a hard time. I never buy that. The coach tells you who is going on the ice. It's on the guy going on the ice to have his head up, pay attention, mark his guy who's coming off, and don't go on before he's off. And to have 7 guys on the ice, not just 6. What are we doing here? Guys weren't paying attention. That was on the players. No excuse for those kind of penalties. And to do that early in a game against a team like Florida, you are asking for trouble. And that's really what they put themselves in, and they were never able to recover. So I think if they stay out of the box, all the rest of it will take care of itself. Their power play will start to play better. They'll get more into the game at 5-on-5. You just cannot parade to the penalty box like they did in the first period. So that, to me, discipline. Don't take stupid penalties.
David, great stuff, buddy. Enjoy game 4, and we'll be chatting with you, teeing up game 6. Well, assuming that there is a game 6, which I assume there will be.
I think there will be.
Yes, mathematically, there's still a chance there won't. So we'll see. Have a great day, Dave.
See you, boys.
It's Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you when we come back. 5 questions brought to you by The Brick here on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
We've got some good news for you. Employee pricing is back at St. Albert Dodge. You pay what we pay, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, it just doesn't get any better than that. You'll get a great deal, and it's so easy. No complications, no negotiations. The pricing is simple. Your biggest challenge will be choosing the vehicle you want. Employee pricing. Come see us now for the best selection and the best pre-tariff prices of the year, and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-sized shapes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
It's been a long 35 years since we last hoisted the cup. Sports 1440 has the finals covered with Carius, Low Tide, Gregor. And be sure to check out the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado,
There's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
What's your vision for your community? At Vision Credit Union, ours is a thriving rural Alberta where kids have team jerseys, firefighters have the gear they need, and community kitchen fridges stay full. It's why we give back millions every year through grants, donations, sponsorships, and profit shares. Because when your community succeeds, we all do. Bank somewhere with Vision. Vision Credit Union. We see banking differently. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all our rides at hdedmonton.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:49. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. And now, how many of you, I'm curious, after last night, now it was ugly. You were probably frustrated. It's probably the most frustrated you've been, even all playoffs, because it's the Stanley Cup final. And they get goal in the first 56 seconds, and it just never really seemed like there was, I guess when Perry made it 2-1 for a brief moment, you thought there was much of a chance, but that lasted like 2 minutes, and then it was done. So it's probably the most frustrating game for you. I know a lot of people said, I'm out after 40 minutes. Too frustrated. I'm going for a walk, what have you. That being said, would you prefer if the game was tomorrow night? Is the waiting going to make it worse? I think in a weird way, it might be better for the team, but I think it might be worse for the fans. And I get it. Anticipation times, it's the worst. Something like this, because you don't know. Now, you anticipate a loved one coming home. That's different. You get excited. But, because you're not really nervous. It's a little bit different. I think fans would prefer the game to be tomorrow. Say, let's get it back on and see what happens. So, see how it goes. Well, we'll know on Thursday night if the rest was better or not. We'll find out. Like, the Oilers shouldn't be tired, that's for sure. I do want to get... Hey, Greg's, I'm curious about you and TR's thoughts. What did you think of the Oilers in the third period, just trying to get their pound of flesh? For years, the Oilers never did it. I didn't have a problem with it. What about you? TR?
Oh, I didn't have a problem with it. I just thought they went about it. They looked a bit pouty, and Florida had them in the palm of their hand. Go run the goalie or something and then make them come at you. It was like, it was all on Florida's terms. That's the only thing that I kind of would have done differently, but it's nice to see a bit of spunk. At the point should be that Florida knows they're not going to back down, and that was accomplished. I just thought there was probably ways to do it that you wouldn't look as petty and seem like you're reacting to their every move.
Yeah, that's fair. It's totally fair. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick, as the best bedroom sale in Canada is ongoing right now. 40% off bedroom furniture, up to 40% off select mattresses. Also 50 or 25% off TV stands, wall units. And hey, maybe you want a fireplace to romanticize things a little bit in the bedroom. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. A few options to choose from here, but if you had to pick the worst aspect of the Oilers game, what would you say was the absolute worst?
Well, I've said it earlier. I agree with Dave. I think he said discipline. Like, I just think in every way, it wasn't just going to the box. It was going to the box is one thing. It was stupid penalties. Engagement is one thing. It was stupid engagement. They were very undisciplined on the special teams, and they didn't look great 5-on-5. So I think it was just overall, if I had to pick one word, it would be that they were undisciplined.
Yeah, I will go with they didn't seem prepared to play, which is odd to say. It's a Stanley Cup final. And I'm not saying that they weren't like, yeah, okay, guys, we're here, da-da-da, but their actions didn't show it. On the first goal, there was 3 mistakes by 3 different guys, pretty big mistakes. The too many men penalty in the first 10 minutes, like they just seemed to be rattled. And when I say when you're not prepared, they weren't prepared how to handle an early deficit. It just seemed they dug a little bit of a hole. And then, it wasn't like they were taking a little shovel, man. They were just in there. You had a front end loader in the backhoe just digging the hole very quickly for them because I never felt like they were, even when Corey Perry scored, I never felt like they were really in the game.
Question number 2 for you guys now on the flip side. If you had to give the Oilers fans some optimism heading into Game 4 on Thursday, what would be a reason for it?
Well, a few things. The team has historically not made things easy on themselves and has shown an ability to bounce back. Obviously, we saw that against LA. We saw it last year numerous times. And I thought that a lot of what happened last night was more what the Oilers did to themselves rather than Florida doing it to them. Like, look at Ekholm's play on the Bennett goal. Like, what's he doing there? Right? Like, John Klingberg decision on the POC he ran to the ref. He never should have been up the boards. He should have just stopped behind the net. So I think there's lots of things the Oilers did that it wasn't like, because I talked to a Dallas guy after the Dallas series, and he told me flat out, goes, you know what? Edmonton was just a better team in every facet of the game. I don't think Florida has shown yet they're the better team in every facet of the game. But if Edmonton can't control their emotions, then they might be.
How many games has McDavid and Draisaitl done that bad and not had a point? Is there any in this playoffs? I'm asking. Yeah. I'm not.
Maybe Game 2 against LA. Maybe I'd have to.
There's really not that. So like the team, as the team goes, so do those guys, and I just don't see them having that poorly of a game again. And the Oilers generally come back pretty hard and after some very adverse conditions. So I don't know. Me as a fan and someone that speaks on the Oilers' behalf at times and comments on everything that they pretty much on this show, and someone that bet on the team. I mean, I'm moderately into it, and I have absolutely the utmost confidence that they're going to come back with a super effort. I think everybody in Oilers Nation would agree with me.
Question number 3. Would you guys be making any moves to the lineup, and would you even consider a change at goaltender?
You know what? Haven't Davey Mack changed my mind? No, I'd come back. I was talking about Stetcher earlier, and you know what? Klingberg has a good playoff. One or the other. I think you can flip a coin. I don't think there's a bad decision. But you know what? I'm sticking with it. I'm proving that it was just a bad game, and the people I talked about taking out are veterans, and I think they were going to play better. So I'm saying no. It's panic move.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's the only one I'd consider maybe is on defense, and I agree with you. Klingberg's played really well. I just think in this 2 games lately, he hasn't played well. Like, when they pulled other guys out of the line, they weren't necessarily playing poorly. Like when Arvidsson got pulled out and they put in Kapanen, Arvidsson wasn't even playing poorly. They made a move and it worked. So I wonder if simpler might be better. Stetcher plays a little bit simpler of a game and just get the puck out sometimes. So that's the only one I would consider. Now, I'll say this. If Skinner makes a play early in the game that's symbolic of what made in Game 3, then I would go to it in the game. But I would start Skinner.
Question number 4. Were you guys on board with Lane Hudson being named the Rookie of the Year this season?
Well, I better be. I put my vote out, and he was my number 1. So, yeah, I had him first. I had Celebrini second, and then I had Wolf third. To me, you got to play more games. But, yeah, Lane Hudson, what he did to tie the NHL record for most assists for a rookie defenseman, had tied for the 5th most points by a rookie defenseman. All the other guys were in the higher scoring areas. So, yeah, Lane Hudson, to me, it was kind of a no-brainer that he wins the Rookie of the Year.
I had him in November. I had him in January. I had him in March. I had him now. I think he's the best player of the bunch, and there's some fantastic players. But what he did was historic, and I think he had a huge part in getting them into the playoffs.
Final question for you guys. On this day in 2003, the Spirit rover was launched on Mars, starting the exploration of the red planet. Now, if you could go to Mars, or even the moon for that matter, would you say yes and go?
Given if I could just go there and be back tomorrow, I mean, this is a hypothetical of all hypotheticals. I mean, now if you go, it's kind of a one-way ticket. You want to start a colony there? No. But I would like to some level go into space, whatever it would be. I'm not religious, but I don't know if you want to say spiritual. I believe there's something bigger than us. And I think that would be the ultimate existential spiritual experience for someone like me. I think that it would really put life in a different perspective. And not that I don't enjoy it already, but that's just that part of it, the science of it and everything. Now, of course, I'm scared to go up a ladder, so it probably is never going to happen, right? Because I'm terrified of heights. But if I could get that out of the way, and I was an astronaut, and like I said, it's the ultimate hypothetical, but the answer is yes.
Geez. Terry Wallowitz, the astronaut. Oh, that would be unreal. I'm going to say zero interest in space exploration. There are so many other things I'd want to explore, not space. I have no interest, especially going to Mars. It's a one-way ticket. The moon, I guess you go back, but I don't want to be the next Katy Perry and hated by everybody that I'm going there. I'm not qualified to go. So no, I'm not going.
Well, she could have handled herself better.
Connor?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to space. I wouldn't go deep sea. I like land too much. I'm content where I am. My feet on the ground.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So
there you go. See you guys in another dimension. That's what we'll do. I'm sure when we'll all connect in the next world, and we'll be in another dimension.
Well, it's like, some people believe that, in reincarnation, right? You pass, you live a first life, and then the next time you come back, something else. And
I could be one of those people.
Yeah. I haven't thought about it enough tonight. I'd be kind of curious to have someone, over a beer one time explain to me how it works. I'd be like, okay, I want to hear.
Well, I think there's more of a chance in that. I just do, then just give me a religion that just where can you trace it to? I don't know. Someone said it thousands of years ago. I think there could be a scientific karma to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out. I saw this T-shirt the other. I want to find it out because it made me. You need a laugh sometimes in life, and so this person had. And I got to get the T-shirt, so I just pulled it up. But it's at the very end of this clip, and it was quote, religious war. It's a noun. Adult people fighting about who has the best imaginary friend.
Man,
God, it made me laugh, man.
It's semantics, but it's kind of what you're doing, right? Like, so
it is. I know some people are gonna like that, but it's.
I'm not anti. Maybe they're right. Maybe one of them is right. Right? Yeah. They all can't be right. Maybe one of them. I'm kind of saying they all are in a point. There is something.
I know. But, there is. I don't know. Is it your conscience? We could have a real theologian discussion here on the show.
Oh yeah. Night Gregor after dark.
Oh God, it'd be all over it. It's interesting to have, because some people they staunchly believe in it. It's always good to, hey, we grew up Catholic, we went to church all the time, but in our house we asked a lot of questions because there's lots of things I would listen to. I'm like, well, that doesn't really seem to make sense. So then we'd have the conversations about it, because it's like when people quote the Bible about, they're anti something, but then the Bible says something else that counters that. I'm like, well, which one are you going to use? Right? Because you can't just use one
selective, man. It's all selective. It's it. Because it's not specific.
To me, I look at the 10 Commandments, just abide by those. If just those 10 rules, nothing else, can all agree, right?
You could lie, limit
don't steal, don't murder. You limit those are the 10. Are there any of the 10 you disagree with? Okay, explain why. And don't bring in anything else. Just keep it simple, because it's proven that when we have more choice in life, it becomes more frustrating. So just go with the 10 Commandments. Write them out.
I think you could have one.
Sure.
Do unto others as you want done unto yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a commandment, but didn't Jesus say that at one of the
True, but TR, what? Yeah, but then we're getting into whole different things. You know, some people, they got a fetish that they really liked, and they want others to do it to them. So now you get into a little bit of a gray area here. Not really sure.
So. Maybe. So you're right there. You got me. Yeah, let's go back to the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, like I always think, like, remember how we tell our kids, like, don't lie, tell me the truth. Don't steal. And then you get older and all of a sudden it's like, well, you can lie here. Well, no. Like, how's it like when does it change from you're not supposed to ever lie, tell me the truth, to not, well, no, this is okay. It's always it's a weird one. Yeah. TR, have yourself a great week. We will chat with you on Thursday as we set up game number 4, a pivotal match between the Oilers and the Florida Panthers.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Edmonton. Thank you, Connor. See you guys soon.
You know what? We didn't even talk about. We're going to talk with TR next week, though, about his wardrobe change during the show, Collins. I don't know if you noticed that, but had the wardrobe change. So we'll ask him about it next Thursday on the show. Let's get to the con man. I think that's the first time, like, a wardrobe change might mid-show. I kind of liked it. I didn't like, are we in a new scene? He tried, like, the new segment was like a new scene in the show. I liked it. Let's get to the con man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Employee pricing is on now. You can get up to $12,000 off on a 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali Ultimate. Only at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers defenseman Jake Wallman received 2 separate $5,000 fines today for his actions from last night. The first for roughing Panthers forward Matthew Tkachuk. The second for squirting water at the Panthers bench. And also today, Lane Hudson becoming the first Canadian player to win the Calder Memorial Trophy since goaltender Ken Dryden in 1972. In town tonight, the Stingers in action at the Expo Center, taking on the 2-4 Ottawa Blackjacks. Tip-off 7 o'clock. Thesingers.ca for tickets. The Riverhawks on the road for the first time this season, kicking off a 3-game series in Kelowna up against the Falcons. First pitch 7:35 Mountain Time on the Diamond tonight. In the Major League level, Jays in St. Louis taking on the Cards at 5:45. You've also got the Rockies, Giants, Athletics in Anaheim, Padres host the Dodgers, and the Mariners taking on the Diamondbacks. And the Canadian men's national soccer team hosting the Ivory Coast tonight in their final pre-2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup friendly. It's the Canadian Shield that gets going at 6:30. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by the Edmonton Elks offensive coordinator Jordan Maximic, as well as Jason Strudwick, and we'll hear from members of the Oilers. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers. Edmonton.
Just after 3 o'clock, Jason Gregor.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account.
For Jason Gregor.
Win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an
For
EWEL.ca account today.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports.
Connor Halley. Now, how many of you?
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It's Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza when you use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.409. Welcome back. Little sandstorm for you on a Wednesday afternoon. Oilers losing to Florida. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And hey, if you're a believer, and there's really no reason why you shouldn't be. It was one bad game. The Oilers for Game 4, decent underdog odds if you like him to tie that series at 2 plus 225. Not bad. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Coming up later on in the show, we got Jordan Maximic, Struddy, Speck will be by, Derek Van Diest, and more. So let's talk a little football right now as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride at silentrides.ca. As we are joined by the offensive coordinator of the Edmonton Elks, Jordan Maximic. Jordan, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So Jordan, you get a bye week. It's early in the season. Where do you come out? Do you want to get right back on the field, or what's the biggest benefit of having the bye week early on?
Yeah, there's, especially after what happened the other night, there's definitely a little piece of you that kind of wishes we were just getting right back at it. But to be completely honest, regardless of the result, I've always kind of been a fan of the early bye week. After training camp, it just kind of lets you hit the reset button a little bit and step back and assess where you're at as a football team and as an offense and kind of make any necessary tweaks and stuff like that. So we've been using these off days to our advantage and hopefully we come back in a little bit better shape.
So when you go over the game film, last year, I know there's lots of different players, different personnel, everything. Like Rankin, the Oilers the Elks had a good run attack. A first down specifically, early on, you didn't gain a lot on first down when you ran the ball. What did you see in the film? What wasn't working when you were calling run plays on first down?
Yeah, there are a few things. I mean, it obviously all starts with me. I gotta do a better job of getting things schemed up and getting things dialed up at the right time and the right moment in those games. But it's not one big thing, and it rarely ever is. It's a thing here and a thing there, and one guy out of 12 not doing their job the way that they need to be, and that guy's dude makes a tackle and that kind of stuff. So that's just what it amounted to, and it was unfortunate. And like you said, it's really important that we're effective and efficient on first down and getting first downs on first down, like we talk about in our room, or at least getting ourselves in those quote unquote second and manageable situations so we can sustain drives a lot better than we did the other night.
Yeah, well, and that's totally fair because now you put yourself in second and long, and now the defense can blitz, and it's obviously defenses always want second and long. You look at Jordan, like it's hard because your first unit played about not even a half of football, and it's not an excuse, it's just reality, and guys want to get together. And I know Trey Ford, there's lots of work on some technical stuff and footwork and everything like that. Like we saw some good with Ford. There's also some things maybe you want to work on. Now that you've had a chance to work with them and see him in real games, what did you like about his game, and what are the areas that you're going to focus on coming out of the bye week to be better against Montreal?
Yeah, with Trey from the start of our time working together this offseason and all through training camp, it's just been familiarity with the system. So that's just reps. That's just live reps going against our defense, going against other defenses, and things like that. So there were plays where you could see things that we talked about in the offseason, things that we talked about throughout training camp translate, and his feet were right and his eyes were right, and he was getting the ball to the right spot, to the right people, reading the defense correctly. And there were other times where he was just a little too uncomfortable with those aspects. So that's not something that you can flip a switch or snap your fingers and have happen. I wish it was, but it's not. It's like I said, it's live reps, and it's going through the day to day, and that's the process that we're working through right now. And Trey's busting his butt to get better, and he's getting better every single day. So that's the kind of stuff that we want to see continue to improve.
Jordan, with the bye week, and it's so early on, I don't know if players go home or not. Are you guys spending more time in the film room, or are you not even allowed to? What's the rules on a bye week?
Yeah, everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So whether guys went home or guys are kind of in and out of the office and things like that, we gotta officially have to be back later on in the week. But I know guys are at home and on the iPad and on their computers and stuff like that. So I think it's important that we kind of just take a step back and get away rather than get right back into it and kind of let everybody debrief on training camp and on that first week. But there's certainly more than enough time before we have to start our Montreal prep to look back on the game that was and make the necessary corrections.
Jordan Maksimic joins us. So you can look at it, and now Montreal, you try to game plan for a defense. When you have 2 weeks, Jordan, is that a much bigger advantage for you offensively to look and say, okay, like we know which defense I'm playing. I got 2 weeks to really drill down. Do you feel that's going to give you an advantage when you come out of the bye week?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, early on in these games as an offensive coordinator and a guy that likes data and likes information and all that kind of stuff, it makes you a little bit squirmy to only have 2 games of data and 2 games of reports and stuff like that, because it's pretty thin. But what it does force you to do is just kind of do what you do best and not overthink things and not overanalyze and all that. So these early games kind of force your hand as far as that respect goes, which ends up being a positive. We'll get a couple games on Montreal and Noel does a really nice job with their defense. Obviously they had a good first game against a really good Toronto offense. So that's something that we're diving into now and trying to crack that code.
Jordan Maksimic, offensive coordinator of the Elks, joined us. What about the run play options? That's kind of Trey Ford's bread and butter, the RPOs. Do you look to put more of those in play, and how come there weren't as many called in the first game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something that is I've always liked to do, whether it was a quarterback coach or an offensive coordinator, something that in the game plan process, I'm always looking at first, because they are traditionally very effective plays. They're your most efficient runs when you give the ball, and some of your most efficient passes when you pull to throw. So that's certainly something that's going to be front of mind in every game plan we do. We ran a few of them. The BC did a nice job defending them, bringing those extra blitzers off the edge to the side of our back, which kind of speeds up your read and kind of messes with your read a little bit. And they did an effective job doing that. Anytime you're reading Matthew Betts on the other side, he does a real nice job of playing that run pass option. But that's certainly something that we'll look at going forward.
Looking at now, I know as the OC, obviously, you'll pick out what the other defense does, and maybe you'll look and say, hey, this is what Montreal's offensive tendencies are. How can we break it down defensively? How much do you and JC Sherritt work together, kind of discussing those things?
There's been a lot of crossover throughout the off season, throughout training camp, stuff like that. I mean, JC, this is his first kick at the can at it and everything like that. So, yeah, I mean, our offices are right across the hallway from each other. So we've spent a lot of time sitting in one another's offices and bouncing things off of each other and seeing how they would look at a certain formation or how we would look at a certain coverage and things like that. So there's been a ton of crossover to this point, and I would certainly expect that to continue.
One last one, looking at your receiving core, it's kind of a work in progress, Jordan. You're trying to find out, hey, do we have like a go-to guy?
Yep.
I know that everybody likes to get, hey, we want to get everybody involved, but at the same time, there always seems to be one guy who just gets more balls. How do you find out who's going to be that go-to guy for your team?
Yeah, we always, I think, do a nice job in the past within this offense of making sure our targets make sense. And getting receivers in spots where they're running the routes that correspond with their talent and what they do best, giving them the best chance to win and the best chance to catch the football. So I think we distribute those nicely throughout the game plan. And then when the ball's kicked off, it's really just however the game plays out, what the defense gives us, the quarterback going through his reads and his progressions and stuff like that. And like you said, I mean, we've kind of found that one game somebody's going to have the hot hand and the ball's going to find them a lot more than the other guy, and they're going to end up being the guy with a few catches for 100 yards, and the next game it could be completely different. So we don't spend a whole lot of time trying to get one guy the ball or two guys the ball or anything like that. Like I said, we try and space it out and make it even, and then let the game and the defense kind of dictate where the ball goes from there.
Well, Jordan, we appreciate your time. Kind of maybe give us one sense as an OC over the next few days, can you prepare too much, or do you have to watch? Because Montreal's only played one game. So do you wait and see the second game to get more film? Like, how does it work on how you want to qualify? Or do you focus solely on what we're going to do as an offense, regardless of what their defense is doing?
I think especially where we're at as an offense right now, we get the main focus has to be us. Okay. We need to focus on what we can do to get better within our offense, within our system and our scheme. But we don't know from playing them in previous years, and we got that one game on them now, so we can kind of hold that data and that information up against previous years and stuff like that. But like I said, we want as much information as we possibly can. So we'll definitely be sitting on that game that they're going to play on Friday night or whatever it is, and as soon as we get that film, we'll break it down and we'll crunch the numbers and go from there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jordan. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
There you go. That's Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator of the Elks. So, hey, run play option. I think they got to do more of that. Love what he said. Hey, man, I didn't scheme well enough. We got to be better on first down, because how often did the Elks have positive yardage on first down, Connor Halley? At all in the first half?
Few and far between, yeah.
You look at their first three runs were 0 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards. So now you're in second and long all the time. There was an incomplete pass thrown once on their execution on first down continually put them in the second and long. It wasn't ideal at all. Now, he missed, I think Trey Ford was 0 for 3 in the first quarter on second down conversion. But after that, was actually a lot better. But you got to get Rankin involved, to me, more often. Like, Rankin last year was amazing. Now, did they miss Boyko at the guard position? Very possible, because they couldn't get anything really going on the ground attack at all. So that has a little bit to do with your offensive line, but also maybe a touch to do with, are you going to run inside or are you going to run outside? Right? Where's BC more susceptible? Every defense, just like every goaltender, does have an area that you can exploit. You just have to find out what it is. So I look for them to be better. I've said it with Trey Ford. He didn't get a ton of quality coaching the last few years. If we're being bluntly honest, he didn't. Right? They didn't work on a lot of mechanics that he needs to work on. So I look at Trey Ford and say, okay, we'll see where he is in 6 weeks' time. I think you should see significant progress. Now, if they don't, that's when I could see them maybe having to look and say, are we going to look at Cody Fajardo? I know that's a long ways away, but you'll need to see some progression from him. A little bit more comfortable in the pocket, a little bit more comfortable with certain reads. But then they also, like, I remember the interview we had with Warren Moon, and he talked about how when I came up here, I wasn't a great pocket passer. They asked me to become a better pocket passer, but they put in plays that allowed me to throw on the run because that was my best skill set. So you can bat your head against the wall and say, we want him to be a pocket passer. We want him to be a pocket passer. I don't think that's putting the player in the best situation to have success. So start and say, okay, let's make him a little bit better of a pocket passer while still playing to his strengths and calling plays to the strengths of Trey Ford. That's what they're going to have to do. And then just slowly become a better pocket passer. Look at Warren Moon, who became one of the greatest passers ever in the pocket, but he wasn't that way early on. So I think that's kind of what they have to do with Trey Ford. There are some mechanics that's going to help him stay in the pocket and be more effective in the pocket. You saw he can do it, but you got to do it continually. So that's going to be, I think, the challenge for the green and gold moving forward. And Montreal's not going to be easy, man. Their defense, their offense especially, it's very confusing for a defense. And the Elks I didn't love their opening game. I don't think they got enough pressure, so they'll have to be better. We'll come back. We'll talk Oilers with Struds next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Explore Internet just got 10 times faster. 5G Ultra brings incredible speeds to homes in rural and small town Canada. Upgrade today at xplore.ca.
It's that time again, Edmonton.
Dig the Schwab in.
Schwab Chev Buick GMC knows that it's playoff season.
Right, Schwabbing now.
But even with some late nights ahead, their boss still has the Schwab team fighting Schwabbing hard to get you into the perfect ride.
That price isn't Schwabbing good enough.
Come score a great deal on your next vehicle with up to $12,000 off 2025 diesel trucks at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc. Dig the Schwab in.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble.
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
It's the summer Big Red Sale at Canadian Tire. Save up to 50%.
What are you doing?
These are the biggest deals of the season. I'm shouting it from the rooftop.
You have a radio ad. You don't need to be up there.
The Summer Big Red Sale is on from June 5th to June 12th. Conditions apply. Details online.
If you change your mind, take a chance. I'm gonna change your mind. Honey, I'm still free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.428. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. It's time for Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical. Get in right now on your savings. You're thinking solar? Think Action. ActionElectrical.net.
Show presents
in the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. Probably a little bit better than the Oilers fans after watching a fairly tough night for our boys last night.
Start to finish in that game, Struddy. I'd have felt the Oilers, they weren't on their game. There was 3 big errors on the first goal, from the goalie to Draisaitl to Nurse, and then it steamrolled. You got 7 guys on the ice for too many men on the ice penalty. Edmonton really wasn't in that game, and they seemed to get rattled early, and they never really got unraveled. I don't really care about the third period. Guys are trying to get their pound of flesh. The game's over, whatever. But in the first 40 minutes, they weren't close to prepared enough or disciplined enough to win.
Yeah, I like the way you frame that. So that was their worst game since the first 2 games of the playoffs against the Kings, right? I thought they really struggled, and you're right. The third period, you're just kind of trying to get even, and I get it. But what I think happened is Oilers also got a little bit distracted. You want to get your hits in, but you don't necessarily want to get into every little scrum after the play. I don't think that's the Oilers' best choice to make it, because that it gets you out of your rhythm. For one, you're thinking, okay, I got to grab this guy, I got to push him around. Kachuk, Marchand, just go through this. They love it. They love doing that stuff. So you got to be really careful when you do it and why you do it. You don't want to do it against Kachuk. Don't do it against Marchand. Grab Barkov. grab Verhaeghe, those kind of guys if you want to muck it up a bit. So I didn't like that. I think they have to get back to playing more between the whistles, not get distracted by that, because you're probably not going to win that game. And what game are you trying to win that you're not going to get pushed around? No one's going to. They know the Oilers aren't getting pushed around, but Florida wants you to play that way. That doesn't work for the Oilers.
Yeah, well, I think that's bang on, right? I felt the Oilers got sucked into playing Florida's style. And that's not their style. Like Edmonton can play physical, but guess what? You know what? They don't really have a lot of rats. Like they can be physical, sure, but they're not rat guys. And you're right. Like they're sitting there and, Wallman's in every scrum. And I'm like, dude, and I'm not knocking him on it. By then it's frustration. But even in the first period, like the other thing, Strutty, like their execution as a team, like their power play was dreadful in the first period.
Yeah, it was. So let's, when I look at the power play for the Oilers, you've got to give a lot of credit to the Florida Panthers. They've got a really good setup right now on their penalty kill. Kind of staying in the diamond, staying pretty tight. But when there's an opportunity, when there's a bobbled puck, they're jumping. And then when one jumps, they're all going. I know this isn't revolutionary, what they're doing, but it's like a symphony. They're so dialed in, so in sync with each other. And the Oilers just aren't. I mean, we saw them change up the power play and put Wallman on the point, maybe because Nuge isn't able to shoot it or whatever. But the power play, the Oilers, and we've talked about, they get energy, they get momentum off their power play, and that power play was sucking the energy off the bench. So, they got to figure that out. I'm guessing maybe they've worked on it, say, in practice or talked about it at least, try to figure out a way of getting the puck moving again. But even to the neutral zone on their 5-on-5, like they look stuck, right? Guys are trying to skate it through. I think it's got to be close support, quick puck moving, get up through that the neutral zone of Florida, and then get it behind their D-men, make them turn and go get the puck. Because man, they looked really slow last night, and the Oilers are not a slow team.
No, you're right. It's one game, and I know it's the Stanley Cup final. You don't want to lose any games. I totally understand it, but they lose last night. And they kind of got embarrassed in that game. Their frustration boiled over. Do you think the extra day is a good thing for them to because you got to get away, you got to calm down, and you got to move past this. Like they can't be focusing on this at all. TR said he thought it was a great decision by the coach to practice today, so you can just kind of get out there skating and not thinking about last night.
I'm guessing that the reason, I don't think they were supposed to practice, but the reason they did is they got to the rink, and I'm guessing Knobloch said, okay, guys, this is what we didn't do well. This is what we're going to do better. We're going to walk out there on that ice. We're going to have a good tempo practice. And when we get off the ice, that game's flushed. It's over. We're going to come with it. We're getting our energy back. We're looking ahead to game 4 because there's a huge opportunity still. Maybe 2-2 coming back from Florida be way better than what they were last year, down 0-3. Or I guess they were 3-1 after game 4. But, I think in the regular season, I always wanted to play it right away if I played a bad game. And it actually happened quite often. I had bad games, so we wanted to play a lot. But I think in the playoffs, I think a little time just to kind of let that get out of your system, get that foul taste out of your mouth, I think it's okay for the Oilers. So they are a team that bounced back well after a tough performance. And, not that Stu Skinner was the reason they lost, but I don't think he was the reason they
didn't play well. I agree.
I think the D can all be better. They can move the puck quicker, like the Klingberg. There's a lot of people frustrated with Barkov knocking him down, then the refs throwing, it was a pretty good shoulder check. Klingberg had an opportunity to move the puck quicker or stop behind the net and go the other way because Barkov went over top.
Yes.
So, but this is what he is, Greg. Like he needs to make those plays. That's why that's what he does, right? If he's not doing that, what are you doing? So, if you're Barkov, you're like, hey, Klinger, like I get it. You're trying to make plays, and he likes to slow things down. But when Barkov's going over top and you see that wing's not really there to go up the wall, stop, go back the other way, give it to your partner, whatever. Just he's got to make plays. I'm not just picking on him, but that's what I saw from the D. Too slow, not playing fast enough through their own end.
Oh, well, that play there by Klingberg behind the net, like to me, it illustrates at times Edmonton here. I think they're trying to force plays still. Like I see Strutty coming through the neutral zone. I watch Florida. They do it all the time. They come across center ice and they ring it around and the other winger is going into the net and they're pressuring the defense all the time. I counted. Now I'll be honest. I stopped counting in the third period because the game's over at that point. But in the first 2 periods, I counted 4 occasions where the Oilers are coming up the right side of the ice. And a few times it might have been the left, but they're coming up the right side. And Florida presses over. Because they know Edmonton wants to try to carry the puck in. They got to start flipping that up right away because they wait and they get to the blue line. Then they flip it in. But by then, the opposite side winger, and twice it was McDavid. It doesn't have to be a winger, but the opposite side guy, now he has to slow down because he can't, otherwise it goes offside. I'm like, they got to recognize it. And I think they're being a little bit too stubborn, looking to try to skate and pass their way in the zone here. I think they got to go back to dumping and chasing a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying. So it allows you to play fast because let's say I'm carrying the puck up the left wing and I'm getting shut down. Well, that center or the right winger can come over and drive the heels of the D-man, and you can chip it behind him, or if you want a hard rim, and I can read that as well as the far winger. But make those D-men turn because right now, I shouldn't say it. Last night, I felt that the Florida D-men had an easy type of night.
Yes,
standing up at the blue line, they weren't making them turn. You want to make them suffer. And the way you make them suffer, obviously, getting some hits isn't key, but going back and turning to make plays. Like Ekblad he's not Makar. Nico Makala isn't Kale Makar either. So you want these guys constantly turning, going back to get pucks, and make them make choices back there. So, when I'm looking at what I think we've established, those have to be better through the neutral zone and making better choices at the blue line. It doesn't mean you're just unskilled. You're putting to somewhere your teammate's going to get it back. Then the power play, finding a way to get energy there, and the D-men moving quicker. It's not rocket science here, but Florida's a good team. They're making it difficult for the Oilers, but the Oilers have done this before. This isn't like we've never seen them do this. You think about the way they played against Vegas with the pressure they put on the forecheck, or go back to round one, the way that LA was trying to shut them down in the neutral zone. So we've seen them have success and in the power play. For 1,000 years. We've seen them do all these things. They just got to get back to it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the key, right? Like you're in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, some would say it's a small sample size study, but here's the truth. The Oilers have played 5 games in Florida in the Stanley Cup Finals the last 2 years. McDavid has points in one of those games. Now, it was a great game. Game 5, he had 4 points, dominated the game. But in the other 4, no points. Draisaitl, same thing. Like, they need their big guys here to be better on the road in Florida.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that between them, they had 3 shots last night. Connor and Leon?
2 shots.
Okay, 2 shots.
And Struddy, guess what? McDavid's 2 shots came on their first power play of the game.
Okay.
And they had no shots between the two of them the rest of the game.
So there you go. So that's probably not what you need. I think Bouchard had 9 shots as a D-man, which, it's good, but you want to spread those around a bit with some other guys. So your point's well made. Those 2 guys, they need them. But I also don't think they have to win every shift, and they can win the Stanley Cup in every shift.
Yeah.
Experience has taught us, you got to be patient, take what's given you. You go back to game 1. Was that the play where Connor gets it, gives it and goes and comes around and throws it to Kane in front, but it goes to Ekholm and Ekholm buries it?
Mm-hmm.
He was opportunistic. And I think they got to be opportunistic. So take what you're given. Don't try to create something that's not there, because Florida's good. They're a good team, but so are the Oilers, right? So they got to be patient, take what's given you. And then when you get that chance, bury it.
Jason Gregor joins us, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Would you consider any lineup changes, or the fact that, it was just one bad game, you roll with the guys? What would you do?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. It actually makes me sick. So you might have to excuse me while I puke. But I might consider putting 7D in there to get Stetcher. I would like to see a lineup change. Now, I know that there's some injuries up front, and maybe we don't want guys playing more, but this is a reason. I think after a game like that, you want to get someone fresh in there who has a fresh attitude. So your 2 choices are Skinner or Stetcher, I believe. I don't know that Emerson will get the call or anyone else. So those are the 2 guys. I'd probably go with Stetcher for 7, just to change the dynamic. He played well. He'd be feeling confident about himself. So I'd probably go Stetcher, but the problem is that we don't know what's going on with some of the forwards with injuries. Maybe Brown or Nude, so it might not be ideal, but I suspect he'll make a bit of a change for Thursday.
Yeah, no, it's possible. Like, what about Stetcher straight up for Klingberg?
Yeah, that probably makes more sense. Just give Klingberg a blow, just a day off. And Stetcher, then you kind of put your pairings back. Nurse goes with Stetcher, then from there on. So. Yeah, I could see that as well. That'd be an option. But I just think it's important to put someone there who wasn't a part of that game, who comes in with fresh energy and excitement and help kind of put some wind in the sails of the guys. Not that, they're out down 2-1 to Stanley Cup final. It's not the end of the world, but I would like to see that. So again, is it Skinner to Stetcher? Depends where you want to slot each player in, and for whom comes out.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a tough decision, right? Like there's no question about it. And you've liked Klingberg's game, but when Arvidsson came out against Vegas, he wasn't even playing poorly, right? He was actually playing pretty well. I think it had like 3 points or something in his last few games, but the coach felt they just needed something different. And Kapanen brought a physical element and gave him some juice, right? Now they also put in Stetcher for Emerson that game, and it worked. Yeah. And so I wonder, like the more at first I was like, geez, I don't know if I want to change anything, but I think I don't know if Jeff Skinner's in this series, unless it's for Nuge straight up. I'm not going to bring him out for Frederick. Frederick doesn't give you, he's not giving you a ton offensively, but doesn't make many mistakes defensively. I think they like his size with Florida trying to bully you, but Stetcher just plays a little bit more of a simple game, and he will just get the puck out, right? Like he might not make as many plays as Klingberg, but sometimes less is more, I think, right now against Florida, and just have a few more dumps.
And a little bit quicker, right? A little bit quicker skater.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hate to take the skill of Klingberg out, but this coach has not been afraid to make changes.
Yeah.
Let's go back to last year when they put in Pickard, and then he took Pickard out and put Skinner back in. Was that against Vancouver? I think. And my mind was blown. I'm like, what is he doing? But he's been right. So I do suspect he'll have a lineup change in there. And we don't know all the injury situations, so that might somewhat compromise what I'm saying here. But I do think there'll be something in there, Griggs.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree with you at all. Sorry. Struds, the NHL Player Awards is going to be wrapped up on Thursday. And young Hudson got the Calder today. The Hart Trophy will be announced on Thursday. Kucherov, Draisaitl, Hellebuck, other. Who do you think wins?
Oh, man. I think it'll probably be Kucherov. I think that the games that he missed, Leon, I think that compromises him a bit. Otherwise, I think it would have been him. And I would like to see a goalie get it, but they don't seem to like to hand that out to many goalies. So I'm going to go Kucherov. What do you see?
See, I'm still going Draisaitl. I know he missed 11 games, but he's still the only guy to score 50 goals, right?
Yeah,
in a season. And his defensive numbers were off the charts, man. Like they were really good. Like, so that's why I would go with Draisaitl for that. So I'm kind of curious to see what it is. Like Kucherov, I can understand it for sure. He had another really good season, no question. But I'm going with the goals. And Hellebuck, to me, when you miss a quarter of the season, I'm not doing it. And the reason is when Kevin Woodley told me that Connor Halley had the best environment for a goalie all year long, I'm like, I'm not voting for him. So there you go.
Fair point.
That was my reasoning. So I didn't have him. I think I had him 5th maybe on my ballot because of that. I have to go back and look. So we'll see. Strutty, have yourself a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy game 4 on Thursday. I can say this with confidence. The Oilers will play better than they did in game 3.
Yeah, and they're bounce back team. And they are pretty good in game 4s. I'm sure you've probably looked at those numbers. So looking forward to this one, guys. Probably coming back tied 2-2.
Awesome. There you go. That's Jason Strudwick, co-host of the Got Your Back podcast, and has his own, the Jason Strudwick. What is it? Struddy's Planet? Connor, is that what it is?
Struddy's World.
Struddy's World.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Struddy's Planet.
Should have asked him if he'd go to
Struddy's
space.
Planet would actually make more sense. Oh, God. Struddy in space? There's no chance. No chance. He did. He's like, those videos, those people that go on like the slingshot rides and stuff, and the guy, like they're almost passing out? That would be Struds. There's no chance he could go to space. He's scared of heights. Couldn't do it. I don't think there's any chance he could do it. That is a good question, though, for next week. We'll have to ask him. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Lots of text to get to. We'll get to some of those. We got spec, DVD, and more here on Sports 1440.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The Discovery Day
Or,
sales
this is
event
a slash.
on now at
Unless
Volvo Cars
you're
Edmonton.
down by
It's your
3,
final
then even
month.
less
Lease a
is a.
2025
I don't care.
XC90 plug-in
Zach
hybrid
Hyman
from
got
1.49%
ran.
and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Discover the charm of Triple Creek Golf Club. With a friendly staff, a welcoming atmosphere for all, and an easy-to-reach location, TCGC is your ideal spot for a fantastic day of golf. Book a tee time at triplecreekgolfclub.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all cheddar lovers, try Papa John's new cheddar crust one-topping pizza for only $17.99. Order online at papajohns.ca or through the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Oh, I love it. Everybody's fired up on a Tuesday afternoon. Gregor Halley with you, Sports 1440. We did do 5 questions. I know normally we do it here, but we did it last hour at this slot just to get TR involved. And that's okay. We got tons of text to get to. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's. Fun stat for you. Did you know that in the past 7 Stanley Cup finals, the eventual champion has lost heavily in either Game 3 or Game 4 4 times? The most recent was Edmonton crushing the Panthers 8-1 last year. St. Louis 7-2 in Game 3. Penguins 5-1, etc. Oh, there you go. Thanks for that, Ontario Momes. Well, now I think Liam might have put that out at Orders Nation, actually. So, hey, you know what? You want to find a trend that helps you, makes you a believer? Why not? All I know for the Orders, they got to play better. And they're more than capable of playing better. They had a lot of self-inflicted wounds last night, but at the same time, right now, Florida's been better. And you know why Florida's better? Because Florida hasn't lost control. They haven't lost their composure. They'll take a big hit, but like, who delivered the biggest hit of the game last night? Sam Bennett. And then he got a breakaway moments later. I know people are mad at, look at AJ Greer. AJ Greer goes after Ekholm. The Oilers go after Tkachuk and Marchand. Go after Barkov. Right? AJ freaking Greer is going after your top pair left defenseman. What the hell are you going after Tkachuk and Marchand for? First of all, they engage it all the time. They know how to turn their back. They love it. Ekholm doesn't want him to be involved in that stuff. Why isn't anybody get in Forsling's face? Right? Get in a scrum and grab him. Not necessarily going to hurt him, but hey, Greer got some blows in there, right? I'll say this. Yesterday, I thought Florida was better in the gamesmanship department because, number one, they got Edmonton rattled. That's gamesmanship, whether it's chirping, whether it's a little stick here or there. I know, oh, yeah, but Florida's embellishing. Yeah, that's gamesmanship, right? They're falling around. It's annoying them. So match it. Don't give me this garbage of, well, I'm going to play honorable. Does honorable win? Does anybody talk about the Stanley Cup winner 12 years? Well, you know what? They were very honorable champion. That's what I remember about them. No, No one cares how you win. Honestly, they don't. If the Oilers were embellishing and they were winning, you would love it. Don't kid yourself. You'd love it. You hated Zach Cassian when he wasn't on your team, then you loved him when he was on your team. Right? You hate Sam Bennett right now. If the Oilers signed Sam Bennett as a free agent and next year was doing that for Edmonton, you'd be like, God, I love Sam Bennett. And that's how it should be. Right? Because that means they're good at it. They're doing their job. They're annoying the hell out of you. And now the difference of annoying the fans is one thing. The fans should be the fans don't need to be rational. The fans don't need to be composed. They don't, because you're not playing the game. You're sitting at home. You're yelling and screaming at your TV. You're in the crowd. You're yelling. You're allowed to do that. That's why you pay to go to the games. But the players on the ice, they can't do it. They need to be composed. And I thought last night, now I think that's the first game I've seen because I don't even think they lost their composure against LA. There was really no physical nature in that series. That's the first game I think I can say all playoffs the Oilers lost their composure. Even that game one against Dallas, they didn't lose. They just couldn't kill a penalty for 6 minutes. That's all that happened. Last night, their composure was there. Hey, Gregor, it's easy to keep a composure when the majority of calls are going your way. Chris, did you not watch the first period last night? Florida had 4 penalties called on them. The Oilers had 3. Because too many men is too many men. It's not a hook. It's just count the players on the ice. That's a penalty. So stop with this. Oh, Florida, Edmonton had all the calls go against. No, they didn't. They had 4 penalties in the first period. Now you're going to tell me, Chris, that every one of those Florida penalties was deserved, but none of the Oilers ones were, right? No, that's wrong. I'm sorry. You're wrong. The first period had 4 power plays each team. And the Oilers had a too many men. It's not even debatable. It was an obvious penalty. So I'm sorry. I don't buy it. That had nothing to do. The Oilers lost their composure in the first minute of the game. Skinner, Nurse, Draisaitl, all terrible plays on that goal. They weren't ready. Blaming the ref, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Hey, Greg, are we also not 4-1 in the McDavid era in series when we trail 2-1? Well, let's go back. Against the LA Kings, they were down 2-1. Against Vancouver, they were down 2-1. Against Dallas, the first year, they were down 2-1. And they might have been down 2-1 in another series against LA. So I think it could be right. Now, obviously, the one loss when they were down, well, they weren't down 2-1 to Florida. They were down 3-0. So I'd have to go back. Now, if you count Chicago, it's a best of 5. They were down 2-1. They didn't win. So I don't know if you're counting that one or not. Against Anaheim, they weren't down 2-1. They were actually up 2-1 and lost. So, yeah, the Oilers have shown that they can come back, right? Games 4-6, that's where they dominate. They're 18-2. So that's good news. Yeah, the series isn't over. I'm not counting the Oilers out. Saying that the Oilers played poorly last night, to me, is valid. You could not respect any radio host who came, you know what? I thought the Oilers played pretty well last night. Geez, the refs really screwed them over. I'm sorry. There's no way I could say that. I'd just be lying because that's not what happened. The Oilers are down 1-0 before there's a penalty called in the game. Is that somehow the ref's fault? I didn't like the Kane cross-check. I thought that was a pretty soft call, 100%. But I also thought Florida got a soft call in the first period. But either way, Edmonton killed off that power play. And then they got 4 of their own. And Draisaitl didn't even get shot on net. Your best scorer on the power play in 4 power plays in 1 period. And he didn't get a shot on goal. So, hey, Greg, remember how Messier played? He was dirty as anything. We loved him from Craig. Touche, man. Touche. Hey, guys, Ekholm's play has been concerning for the majority of the season, even pre-injury. I didn't see him as reliable and saw it as last year from Braden. Well, he made a mistake on the Bennett goal, but that's in the games he's played. In game 5 against Dallas, no issue with him. In this series, game 1, I had no problem with Ekholm. So I think Ekholm's been fine. He was elite 2 years ago. And I think it's hard to match that level. I think he's been fine. The play in the Bennett goal was it's a microcosm of the game where even your more reliable players are making bad defensive reads. And that's kind of why I say that Edmonton their composure was off. And they're really not a team that normally loses their composure. Like when they have a bad game against LA, they just have a bad game. It's not like they're running around and getting mad and anything. They didn't play very well. But last night I thought was a game they got off their game. I love what Struddy had to say. You don't have to engage in every scrum to show them, hey, we're here. You don't have to. And if you do, then be strategic about it. Get in scrums against Barkov and Lundell, right? Guys who don't want Verhage, Sam Reinhart, guys who probably don't really want to be in there. Tkachuk and Marchand are like, oh yeah. Like, trust me, they're like, that's like porn to those guys. They can't wait. They're loving it. So no, you don't want to get those guys, and because you're just losing that. Like Tkachuk, how many of you are like, God, he has this like such a punchable face, right? Like how many of you believe that? I think the Order players feel the exact same thing. Like just how he looks at you, he's chewing on that mouth guard. I can see how he's annoying and he's good at it. Right. And then Marchand comes in and, he's got the biggest beak. He's like Toucan Sam out there, but he's a hell of a player and he knows how to irritate you. So don't play their game. That's like Florida saying, you know what? Let's go run and gun with McDavid. Right? That's basically what you're doing. If you want to run and gun with McDavid, he will eat you alive. And if you want to try to rat it up with Tkachuk and Marchand, you're not winning. You're never going to win that. It's not going to happen. So the Orders, I think they can play a lot better. And I totally expect they will. Hey, Gregor, last night I kept thinking about Will Ferrell in Old School when he's losing his mind, so yelling, we got to keep our composure, and slamming the chair into the lockers. So good. Well, it's true. It is very true. And you know what? Hey, it's one game. And guess what? One game doesn't lose you the cup. I know right now it feels like it, and you're frustrated, and you're, God, that's the worst. But the Orders win, and if they win on Thursday, then they accomplished everything you wanted. They got a split, and now they got home ice advantage again. And they'll come home, and the crowd will be crazy. And you know what? The interesting thing is if the Orders win game 4, it's a quicker turnaround. I think I want the quicker turnaround coming off a win. That's just me. I think that could benefit the Orders, right? You got, not that I believe momentum carries over, but you get on that plane, you fly home, everyone's in a good mood. It's a long flight, yada, yada, great. Then you get up the next day, great. We got morning skate, now we got the game on. You just keep rolling. So I think you win game 4 for Edmonton. That's an event. Now you lose game 4, you're not officially out. We saw them win 3 in a row last year. It's just way harder. So it's not a must-win game, but it's a need-to-win game, is what I call it, on Thursday. We'll come back. Mark Spector will join us from Florida. What tune were the Orders singing today? It's a new day. The sun came up. Maybe not here. It's pretty cloudy, but the sun is up. And we'll talk to Spec about the Oilers. And, hey, guess what? Sadly, life is always about learning. And last night was another learning experience for the Oilers. I know people say, well, when are they going to learn everything? Well, you never learn everything. Think about it in life. You always learn something new. Right? Oh, geez, I shouldn't direct it that way to my wife or my husband. It's not working for me. There's always new things you can learn, even in sports. Let's get to the comment. A Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. Furnace repair or maintenance. Do it now at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers defenseman Jake Wallman received 2 separate $5,000 fines today, one for roughing against forward Matthew Tkachuk and an additional $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct for squirting water at the Panthers bench. Also today, Lane Hudson becoming the first Canadian to win the Calder Trophy since Ken Dryden did so in 1972. In town tonight, you got the Stingers at the Expo Center taking on the Ottawa Blackjacks. Tip off at 7. Get your tickets at stingers.ca. And the Riverhawks on the road for the first time this season, kicking off a 3-game set in Kelowna against the Falcons. First pitch, 7:35. Major League Baseball tonight. Jays in St. Louis for meeting with the Guards. That'll get going in about 45 minutes. Right now, you've got the Tigers leading the Orioles 1-0 midway through the second. Later tonight, Diamondbacks host the Mariners, Dodgers in San Diego, and it's the Rockies taking on the Giants. The Canadian men's national soccer team will host the Ivory Coast tonight in their final pre-2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup friendly at the Canadian Shield. That gets going at 6:30. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99.
$4.09.
Hurry though, because it's only for a limited
Welcome
time.
back.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working
Good afternoon. How you doing?
heating and cooling. You know,
I'm good. Probably a little bit better than.
They call you an AC repairman.
Nice. Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the
Connor
tune.
Halley, sports.
Oh, well. Okay.
No payments and no interest for 1 year.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota.
And that's okay. We got tons of text to get to 833-414-1440.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Canada's best bedroom sale continues at The Brick. Make your bedroom a dream come true with incredible savings, like up to 40% off bedroom furniture and select mattresses, up to $1,500 off sectionals, and up to 25% off dining packages, TV stands, wall units, and electric fireplaces. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an additional $500 off select brands of major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Service that goes the distance, just like your cart should. Keep your golf cart running at its best with expert service from the golf cart people. From regular maintenance to upgrades like LED lighting, lift kits, or sound systems, our certified techs bring experience and attention to detail using genuine parts for a smooth, reliable ride. Whether you're boosting performance or just need a tune-up, trust the team Alberta has counted on since 1997. The Golf Cart People. Book now at golfcartpeople.com.
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2-4s per May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, Thunder did strike last night. Unfortunately for the Oilers, it was against them all the time, early and often, as they end up losing 6-1 in Florida for Game 3. They'll have a few days to reset, recover, refocus, and then a pivotal Game 4 on Thursday. Game 5 will be Saturday in Edmonton, and obviously Oiler fans are hoping that that is a 2-2 game, which could make for a very raucous. Well, it's going to be loud either way, but that would even be more raucous if it's 2-2 for sure. It is the Gregor Show. Welcome back, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor15. You get a free $50 play on casino or lottery, instance, whatever you like. Also, $15 million up for grabs tonight in Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. This is Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching at Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook and X. It's time for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Simple as getting you running water or making that freeway so you can get home. That's what they do at GS Construction. Mark Spector joins us from, I'm assuming, sunny Florida. Spec, how you doing?
Kind of cloudy in Florida actually now, but that's okay. It's still Florida.
Yeah, well, that's true. Although I'm not sure the Oilers love it there right now. That was, hey, Spec. Well, it's not a good performance. I don't think you can sugarcoat it. So it's the day after. The players, hey, you want to rinse it off, right? You want to get that stench off as quick as you can if you're the Edmonton Oilers. But what was kind of the message coming out of the skate today from the Oilers?
The message is basically we need one win and we're in control of this series, right? The message is win a game 4, you come home, it's a best of 3 tour in Edmonton, you're tied 2-2. That's the message. It's not irretrievable. It's not success isn't a million miles away. You don't have to win 3 games at once, right? The message was come out. We haven't, we're in this series. We still haven't found our best game. Come out and play it on Thursday night, go home 2-2, and you're in great shape. That is the message.
All right. Do you believe it?
Well, yeah, I absolutely believe it. Here's what I believe. I believe, obviously, if you come home 2-2, you are in control. I believe that the Oilers have not played their best game yet. I think they haven't found any level of game that I've seen against Vegas or Dallas, and I know that's got a lot to do with Florida. But I believe that they have yet to attain their top level. I absolutely believe that. Connor McDavid hasn't scored a goal yet. And they haven't played very well defensively yet. So, yes, I think that I'm not here telling you that they're just going to snap their fingers and be that team. But I am telling you that I've seen them play their best hockey in this playoffs, and I haven't seen it yet against Florida.
Yeah, well, you mentioned McDavid. He said it after the game. We haven't played our best in the series, but it's coming. And now he stated that before, and it did come. So you know what? Hey, he's kind of got some history to back him up on that. But let's start there. Him and Draisaitl, they combined for 2 shots in the game. McDavid's 2 shots came in the first power play of the game, so they had nothing the rest of the game, and they had lots of power plays. So, what do you make of those 2 specific, and what you'd like to see from them?
Well, didn't like Draisaitl's game, which I'm not sure I've said that in about 6 months. Didn't love his game. I didn't think that he commanded the puck the way he does normally. I thought that he wasn't, he's so good at shielding players and buying time for a play to happen and then putting it on someone's tape. I didn't think he was able to have as much time with the puck. I thought they were separating him from the puck, which isn't something that happens to Leon Draisaitl very often. So I didn't love Leon's game, I got to admit. And the power play was, not good enough. What was it, 1 for 6, I think?
Yeah.
Not good enough. They give you 6 power plays. There better be a couple goals mixed in there. So that's the main of it. I think, Connor McDavid worked today before practice. He was out shooting, passing pucks with Bouchard and circling and shooting on the goalie and circling and shooting on the goalie. He shot a whole bunch of pucks on goalies today. And to me, he was the guy saying, I got to get my scoring touchdown. I got to start picking some corners here. Verhaeghe's going bar down. Reinhart's going bar down. I think it's time for McDavid to go bar down once in a while.
Well, the other thing for the Oilers, Spec, was maybe get some traffic in front of Bobrovsky. Like I know Bouchard's got maybe 24 shots. How many of them are through a screen? Like not many. They got to get guys, and not just in front of the net, in front of Bobrovsky's eyes. And I find they haven't done that very well through 3 games.
Yeah, I mean they're missing Zach Hyman, who's their best guy at that.
Yeah.
So someone's got to pick it up. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's how you beat a good goalie, and Bobrovsky's an unbelievably good goalie. So yes, they need more traffic. It can't only be Corey Perry standing in there. Other guys have to get after it, and it's the oldest story in hockey. When a goalie starts making a bunch of saves, you better get in his eyes, or he's just going to keep making saves on you.
Yeah, no question. Now, what's your thoughts on Knobloch? And hey, you know what? It seems that for the most part, every lineup change he makes, it works out. Do you think Struddy believes that after a game like that, you might want some fresh blood? I even joked that he said he almost puked in his mouth, saying that he might even think of 11-7, but probably thought the injuries to the forward wouldn't make it likely. Do you think Chris Knobloch will make a roster change? And if so, who?
Well, let's put it this way. If he makes a roster change just to freshen things up, I think it's clearly Stetcher in, probably Klingberg out. But I know Coffey likes Klingberg a lot, so that's a question mark in my eyes. But that, to me, is the roster move you make for healthy players. And I guess we got to figure out what Nugent Hopkins is here. I go back to the Four Nations, and this was a pretty overt example, but Matt Tkachuk played in that gold medal game he shouldn't have played.
Right.
I blame Matt Tkachuk. He should have come clean and decided he couldn't play. I blame the training staff. They shouldn't have let him play, and I blame the coaching staff for showing misguided loyalty. Kyle Connor sat in a press box. Matt Tkachuk played for barely any time. He was no good to anybody and sat in a bench. So I don't think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is that injured. I know he's not that injured. Mm-hmm. But this is the time of year when, you got to tell me here, Nuge, are you in your state going to be better than Jeff Skinner could be at 100%? And that's an important conversation, and they got to get it right. We all love Nuge and we know what he does for this team, but what's the percentage of Nuge that is bested by a healthy Jeff Skinner? Is Nuge got to be 75%? Does Ryan Nugent-Hopkins have to be 50%? I don't know what the number is, but having a guy, I don't know how hurt he is, but if he can't play, they got to figure out he can't play and put a healthy player in.
Okay. Do you think there's any chance they switch goalies?
No.
I know. I just had that. I don't think I would. Hey, I didn't like Skinner on the first goal, but I also wouldn't. The rest of the team was equally bad the whole game, so I wouldn't be pulling the goalie. But I just thought, I wondered. Pickard came in, and Pickard's okay. I think I still always say at their top games, Skinner's top end game is better. And like last night, if Skinner lets in the Pickard goal, people are freaking out on that goal. I just so I would go with Skinner. Florida spec. Yesterday was the first time really in maybe 2 years that I felt Florida really sucked Edmonton into the vortex of Florida and how they want to play and how they want to irritate you and everything. And it got them off their game. Now, they hadn't done it in any other game. So I don't think it's hard to say that Edmonton can go back to not doing it. But it was clear that they got them rattled and they were off their game for most of that game.
They were sour, mostly in the early penalties. Edmonton was sour about a bunch of things. They thought that Kane on Forsling, they thought Forsling dove. He went down way too easy. Kane's in the box for cross-checking. Chris Knobloch said today that the Marchand high stick they didn't like. I thought it was Kane hitting Marchand in the face with his stick. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I watched the replay. I'm like, it's right in his face. I don't understand.
I don't have a problem with that. I know that they thought that 15 Lundell went down way too easy on that nurse cross check. And the refs are rewarding them. Like the refs are buying all of these guys going down too easy. I know that everyone can clearly see the Oilers had too many men on the ice, but they're sour that all of a sudden they're getting called on it when Florida wasn't in game 2. So these are the things. Like it's hard. It's hard to play hard against Florida because they do dive on you and they do know how to fool a referee. And so you're playing hard, and now you're in the box. So now you just can't play. If you start playing them soft, they got you right where they want you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the stage where it's a sort of a don't get sucked into their game. Well, I'll tell you right now, if they're going to keep poking at Skinner after every whistle and jamming a stick into his glove, what are you going to do? What are you supposed to do? You can't just skate away. You can't just let them poke your goalie. So Florida is expert at dragging you into that game and forcing you, right? Forcing you to scrum it up, because if you don't, then you look like you're not defending your goalie, or you're not defending your honor. So it's hard. And Edmonton has to figure out how to deal with that.
Well, I can tell you how to deal with it, Spec. Start having bodies around the net so you can dig at their goalie. Like that to me is fight fire with clean fire. And if the refs are going to allow you to dig at their goalie, then get somebody in there and dig at their damn goalie, rather than be like, oh, they're digging in our goalie and I don't like it. Like that to me, the problem last night was the Oilers. The Oilers were, to me, had a loser mentality, that they were complaining rather than saying, okay, we're going to go do stuff. Because you can't complain. Okay, you can't complain. Like if there's still the day later thinking that the high stick on Kane wasn't in Marchand's face, it's 2 games in a row that Kane has taken a penalty in the first 10 minutes of the game where he has a stick right under the guy's chin. Like stop it. It's a penalty all day long.
It is for sure. But I mean, I guess I'll play devil's advocate. If now you have to become the team that's digging at goalies and being in everyone's face and starting things after the scrums, now you're basically playing Florida's game, aren't you? Right? Now they got you playing their game, which they love. So this is part of trying to beat Florida. This is one of the many reasons why they're so good. They get you off your game, man, and they get in your head. And you're right. It's a loser mentality. There's only one team that ever bitches about the referees. It's the team that lost the game. And when I saw the Oilers after the game last night talking about the referee, I didn't have to look at the scoreboard. I knew who lost that game, right? Yeah. The team that bitches is the team that lost.
That's true. It's so true. Mark Spector joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. The Oilers, they skated today, Spec, and lots of the former TR and Struds thought that was a great decision. Play today so you can just scrap it, and they're probably not going to skate tomorrow now, correct?
Yeah, they're not going to skate tomorrow. They kind of put their rotation in, and I think it was smart. Good hard skate today. Flush that game last night. Get your workout. A really crisp. I talked to Stan Bowman. He said that's as good a practice I've seen us have in 2 months. So really good hard practice. A team, you could just smell it in there, Jay. It was a bunch of guys saying we are getting rid of that game 3 as fast as we can. We're moving on. It happened. You can't change it now. So so they had a practice. Tomorrow's going to be pretty much an off day. And then the morning skate, because it's an 8 o'clock start out here, they want to have a morning skate. Guys want to skate. So they're on that rotation where every second day they're skating. And here we go. They like their rotation. They like where they are. It's just got to show up in a game in game 4.
Yeah. And you know what? They're more than capable of it. That's the good news for the Oilers. They've shown time after time that they can come back and they can respond. And now, obviously, it's the biggest stage. They did respond last year. They came back from 3-0. To make it to 7. All you got to do is win 1 to even up the series. You don't have to win 3. You just got to win 1 to even up the series. It's a much better position to be in 1 year later.
Well, what are they in games 4 to 7 in the last 2 years? I believe it's 14-2.
18-2.
18-2. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's, that's not fluke. Like there's a lot of elements in that record. And a lot of it is you're a gamer. When the stakes are highest, you can show up and win a hockey game. A lot of those games are on the road out of those 18, man, and they won a whole bunch of them on the road. And I would say to you, there's an element in there of the coaching staff and the ability to figure out over the course of a series the changes you need to make to beat the other team. And this has been a good team in the back half of series. So, now we're, like you say, we're on the biggest stage. You got to keep being that good team in the back half of the series. If you do that this time around, you might win a Stanley Cup.
Not a bad option to have. Not a bad option to have at all. Beck, have yourself a lovely Tuesday evening in sunny Florida. What are you doing on a Tuesday night in Florida? You going to the beach bar or what are you doing?
Actually, there's a nice media party here tonight. So, as a sports writer, I'm professionally obligated to go wherever the free booze and food is.
Yeah, smart
so
play.
That's where I'll be tonight.
Smart decision, Spec. Not your first rodeo, so that's good.
It's a union thing. They make me go. I really don't want to.
Yeah, I know. It's Spec. You're always the one who's sacrificing for others. I don't know how you've gotten through life doing it so often.
Yeah, it's me, Jay. Anything for the team, buddy.
Yeah, well, I know. Like work, church, and home too. That's why I'm surprised you're going out tonight.
That's right. There is a church right around the corner.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
well,
there.
I'm sure you'll make sure you genuflect a few times as you walk by.
Thanks, brother.
Have a good one. That's Mark Specker, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. Derek Van Diest will join us. We also will hear from Chris Naumock and a few other members of the Orders as, hey, they're flushing it out. And a good practice. Like the Orders, I don't believe they were as focused as they could be last night. I think it showed in the results. I fully expect a better start. And I got some numbers for you to crunch to show you why this series, there are lots of reasons why it can get better. Now, could they keep losing? Of course. But I think there's a few small things that they can improve that will make a vast difference and improve their chances of success. So we'll get to that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need, all powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
At Fitted Golf, we know that you continue to believe.
It's not my clubs. Really, it's my swing.
Except it's already June and you're still not playing the game you want because you continue to insist it's not your clubs. Except it really is your clubs. And we prove it every day. Fitted Golf customers continue to be amazed at how good they actually are when they use the right clubs for their swing. Why would you play the game you love but not love the way you play it? From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Visit fittedgolf.ca.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Canada's best bedroom sale continues at The Brick. Make your bedroom a dream come true with incredible savings, like up to 40% off bedroom furniture and select mattresses, up to $1,500 off sectionals, and up to 25% off dining packages, TV stands, wall units, and electric fireplaces. Plus, buy more, save more. Up to an additional $500 off select brands of major appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
The Discovery Day sales event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's your final month to lease a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $4,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
It's the summer big red sale at Canadian Tire. Save up to 50%.
What are you doing?
These are the biggest deals of the season. I'm shouting it from the rooftop.
You have a radio ad. You don't need to be up there.
The summer big red sale is on from June 5th to June 12th. Conditions apply. Details online.
Kickstands up for a vital cause. The Edmonton Motorcycle Ride for Dad. Hi, it's Todd James, honorary ride captain. Now's the time to register for our big ride this Saturday, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. We're raising funds and awareness in support of the Prostate Cancer Fight Foundation. Show your support by riding, donating, or volunteering. Advance registration just $40, 50 day of, and free with $100 in collected pledges. Details on the Ride for Dad Edmonton Facebook page.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Yeah. Miami. South Beach, bringing the heat. Can y'all feel that? Jig it out. Here I am in the place where I come let go. In Miami, the
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We return Tuesday afternoon, Sports 1440. You know, the other thing we haven't even talked about today on the program that we should, I don't know how many of you are following it or not, but Summer McIntosh is absolutely rewriting the record book this week at the Canadian National Swim Championships. So she set a world record already in the 200-meter individual medley. She set the world record in the 400-meter freestyle. She already owns the world record in the 400-meter individual medley. She'll race that tomorrow. Probably will set a new one. She also swam the third fastest time ever in the 800-meter freestyle. And she only just started swimming that, right? Like Katie Ledecky, this has been her race. No one's even been close. And you look at Summer McIntosh, and she was like, yeah, I'm just learning how to swim this race. Like, I hope her and Ledecky can meet at the next Olympics. I hope Ledecky sticks around for that. It'd be unreal. Even at the World Championships, that would be fine. I don't know if Ledecky will stick for the next Olympics. Maybe she will. But Summer's only 18, and I'm telling you, this is unreal. Like, you're seeing the greatest swimmer Canada's ever had. Ever. And she's going to be up there and one of the best swimmers. She's already one of the best in the world. So she's only getting stronger and better. But you might want to follow that along. There's a few people online. You can check it out. Haru's one guy who's there from CBC. You can watch it online. But man, she's worth it right now. She is unbelievable. She's like a phenom in the pool. Absolute force of nature. So I would recommend checking it out. Summer McIntosh, absolutely killing it. Now let's continue to talk a little hockey. Is Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins us as we go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's. And ooh, baby, you can cool down with $2 sundaes right now at McDonald's, or a $2 snack size shake. And if you use the McDonald's app, you can get a $1 cone. Check it out. With tax, of course, only at McDonald's. It's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Joins us, DVD. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today, Jason?
Hey, man, I'm pretty good. Now, are you a swimmer guy? Like, do you watch all the other sports? Like, I know you're a huge soccer guy.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with Summer McIntosh. I do like the swimming in the Olympics, to be honest with you. I'm a swimmer a little bit myself, like just, trying to stay in shape and things like that. But
really?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing what they do. Yeah, I don't know if you remember back, Strudwick and I used to kind of, like we both do laps and stuff like that. And we talk about, every now and then. So Struddy was a swimmer too. So I remember we'd run into each other at the pool every now and then.
No,
so.
I do remember beating you, Stoff, and Meg in the triathlon. That's the only thing I remember, DVD.
Yeah, probably because I can't run. That's the problem. I have issues running. But on the bike, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, you were doing the bike though. Stoff was running. That was the best part.
Stuff I can't remember. Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was about 50 pounds ago too.
Touche. Well, yeah, like what McIntosh is doing, man, like breaking world records and like smashing them, ones that have been around 10, 20 years. It's pretty impressive stuff to see what she's doing. So I'm kind of curious to see. I'd love to see her and Ledecky in the 800 meter. Like Ledecky's kind of being like McDavid, and then everyone's like, wow, he's the best player in the league. And that's what Ledecky is in that 800 and also the 1500. But for McIntosh to get up there in that ranks now, not to mention still as a sprinter, it's pretty damn impressive. So It'll be fun,
for
fun
sure.
to watch. A lot more fun to watch than Oilers fans had last night watching that Florida game, man. Like, hey, let's give the Panthers full marks. They got the Oilers off their game early, and the Oilers never got back on.
That was the issue, and I think that it's like they played like the first time. I guess the Panthers are gonna try and take your skin. They're gonna needle you. They're called rats for a reason. And then when you try to get back, they're not gonna flop, but they're gonna dive, and they're gonna make it look again. And I think when they're getting those calls, that's the frustrating part. And I think talking to Evander Kane goes, that's the frustrating part. That cross check, there wasn't much there, but the guy felt like he got shot, gets the penalty. He felt that Marchand kind of lifted his stick up into his own face. He got the high kicking penalty. But that's what the Panthers do. And I think they played right into their hands, and they got frustrated. The third goal, John Klingberg runs into the official, and it probably should have been a holding penalty before he ran into the official, and that's created the turnover. So stuff like that, and they were really frustrated. Too many men. I love the quote from Chris Knobloch. He goes, the referees did a great job. They caught that too many men penalty, which was an obvious too many men penalty. I wish they would have worked game 2 because they would have caught the too many men penalty in double overtime too. So he's taking his subtle shots as well as the officiating, but you got to play beyond that. You know what these guys are doing. You played them last year. You know what they do. Sam Bennett is a heel. Matthew Tkachuk is going to be that way. Marchand's going to talk and talk and talk and talk. And I think you just have to understand that. And the Oilers, they're not choir boys either. They got some guys that can do the same thing, but I think they felt that they're being targeted a little bit. And Evander Kane takes 2 penalties in a row. You felt like, it's going to be one of those nights. But they had their opportunities. They had 4 power plays in the first period that they could have taken advantage of. They didn't do that. And then before the game got out of hand at 2-1, I thought, okay, they're not in bad shape. And then obviously that happens with Klingberg, gets the puck turned over, and they could have used a save there. And I think that's the situation is when you get it to 2-1, you have, such a poor first period, you're still in the game. And then they kind of just got away from them. And then the third period that was just a debacle. Like that was just, they were trying to get a pound of flesh back. And then, that's Florida Panthers hockey. They get you off their game, they get in your kitchen, and then they have guys that can make you pay. And that's exactly what it was last night. And I think, so talking to the team today, they just got to stay in their lane. They got to play their game. They can't get sucked into those antics. I know that the Oilers have guys that can do that, but I think they can't be chasing that. They can't be chasing their pound of flesh. Just play the game, take advantage of your opportunities, and if you get a chance to score on the power play, you got to make the most of that.
Yeah, 100%. Right, like their power play in the first period could have got them right back, even though they didn't have much momentum. I felt at times they just weren't ready to go. But man, a few power play goals and it would have changed everything. Right, they would have got some mojo going, and the fact that like Leon Draisaitl didn't have a shot on goal, and they had 4, not a shot on goal the whole game, and they had 4 power plays in the first period. And Connor McDavid only had 2 shots. Now Speck was saying it today at practice. McDavid was flying around and spending a lot of extra time shooting the puck. And, because if you look at one trend that the Oilers will need to change in Florida is they're going to need their big guns to produce a little bit more. McDavid has 4 points in 5 games, but they all came in one game. In the other 4 games in Florida, game 1, 2 last year, game 3 this year, and game 7 last year, he's got no points. And that's just that's on McDavid. Like the Oilers are built for their best guys to lead them. And they're going to need him and Draisaitl to get some offense going tomorrow night.
No, they are. And you know what? We were talking about this. It was so humid in Florida yesterday. Like it was like if somebody asked me what the weather was like yesterday, and I said, just imagine being fully dressed, going to the gym, and just walking into the sauna. That's what it was like here yesterday. So I don't think that ice surface, like whatever they can do, they're trying to make that ice surface as best as it can. The building wasn't particularly cold. I think we were observing that. Like you go to Edmonton, and it's freezing in that press box. Like the building wasn't particularly cold. So I don't think the ice surface is very conducive to passing games. So I think they may have to simplify things on the power play, get shots on net, win the rebounds, and score kind of greasy goals. Because the passing game is it was off. It was off last night, and I think that has something to do with it. Pucks are bouncing a little bit, pucks are rolling, and I think you do have to simplify your game. I think last year the Oilers were talking about how kind of soft the ice was in Florida. And like I said, what are you going to do? You're here, it's 40 degrees with 80% humidity. What can you do? Right? So I think that's a situation they're going to look at. But yeah, I think their best players have to be the best players, and it's a situation where I think the Oilers, when they get into Penalties off, and I think you go power play, flopper. I think the only strength is the fact that they can roll the 4 lines. And I think Florida mostly plays with 3 lines. The Oilers can roll the 4 lines, and I think they think that's a strength. If they can kind of continue to roll the lines where the Panthers down, and when you're killing penalties for half a period, and then into the second period, I think that's an issue. They want to play 5-on-5. They want to play a little tighter. They want to play more structured game. I think the Oilers believe to a man that they have more depth than the Florida Panthers do, and I think that's what you're looking at tomorrow. Is that one? They got to stop taking dumb penalties. They took 3 offensive zone penalties, and then that too many penalties. They had 7 guys on the ice. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta figure that out. You can't give penalties away. The puck over Gosselin, Stewart Skinner is an unforced error. So there's just a lot of dumb penalties, and you're gonna pay. You're not gonna win 6 games in the Stanley Cup final taking bad penalties like that.
No, there's no way. Like, yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. They need to just be crisper in their decision making. I think in their discipline. You can't. Florida got them off their game, and it's rare to see Edmonton really off their game. I'll say that. I haven't seen the Oilers, Derek, off there, and you've watched just as many games as I have. I haven't seen the Oilers, like, you might get off your game for a shift or a period or here or there, but almost like that a whole game, really. They just seemed out of sync. Their body language, and it showed in their decision-making process. You mentioned the too many men on the ice, and, they'll have to regroup. Do you think Knobloch is going to make a lineup change for tomorrow?
If anything, I didn't see anything in practice today, so he wasn't tipping his hand. John Klingberg's struggling a little bit in this series here, and they are running him every chance they get. And I think the Oilers were trying to be physical on Ekblad. The Panthers are doing that to Klingberg, and he's coughed up the puck a few times now. That's going to cost them. And I think maybe, if anything, they make that change. They bring Troy Stetcher in. He's a bit feistier. He's a guy that, what was it? Todd McClellan used to say, plays inside your equipment. So he's kind of one of those guys. Because I think the physicality, John Klinger is not a physical offenseman. He's a guy that can move the puck. He can play the puck. He's very good at that. But when this is a kind of a street fight here between the Oilers and the Panthers, and you need kind of guys that aren't afraid to get 30. And I think Troy Stetcher might be that guy. So if anything, if there's a lineup change, I think that might be it. Outside of that, you need some big, strong bodies to kind of contend with the Panthers. So it'll be interesting to see. But nothing changed today in practice. They're running the same pairings and the same line. So it'll be interesting to see what they got 2 days to figure it out. I'm sure they're going to spend all day tomorrow watching film and things like that. They'll have a good morning skate and then go from there on Thursday. And it all depends on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins if he's ready to go. He missed practice today. He wasn't around, so no one's really sure what his ailment is. He was obviously able to play, but he's not practicing right now, and he was nowhere to be seen in the rink today.
Yeah, well, that's not a surprise that didn't practice the day before. They're just going to rest him as much as they can and see what he has. It should be interesting, DVD. It'll be fun. Do you think the extra day is good or bad for the Oilers?
I think it's bad. That's why they skated today, because I think that just gives you an extra day to stew on the game. Like, if you have a bad day at the office, you just want to get back to the office and have a better day the next day. And I think that's when they were supposed to have an off day today. They were supposed to take today off, skate tomorrow, but I think they said, you know what, we got to get back in there, got to start working. And everyone talked about flushing that game. I think they probably would like to have played tomorrow. I think that would have been better off for them. I think this 2 days helps Florida because I think they're banged up a little bit. I think Reinhardt's banged up. I think they have guys that are kind of nursing things. So I think it benefits Florida. But, yeah, when you put up a stinker like that, you don't want to sit on it. You want to go back and you want to get right back out there. So I think it's advantage Florida by having these 2 days off between games.
DVD, thanks for this. Enjoy the party. Can you babysit Spec for us? Make sure he gets home safe.
Yeah, no. Well, kind of worried about him the other day. Leaving the elbow room, but he said he got home okay. So it was a good night.
Awesome. Thanks, DVD. Have a good one.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
It's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. The elbow room is, like, it's funny. People talk about the elbow room like it's right on the beach. It's a great place to be. Like, it's just a little small place, like super tiny, but for a fun beach bar. But that is like one of the most popular places in Florida. So if you're going down for the games, Order fans, make your way to the elbow room. You'll have a lot of fun. I can guarantee you that. Quick break. We'll return on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440. Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-sized shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Need a golf cart that works as hard as it plays? The Golf Cart people can help. They offer a wide selection of new and used models, including Club Car. Whether you're after a lifted cart for the cabin or a sleek ride for the course, they'll help you find the right match. Add accessories or explore ready-to-go options available now. Trusted by Albertans since 1997. The Golf Cart People delivers quality and experience. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road. Or the fairway, your way.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
For 544, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger running things online. Connor Halley along for the afternoon ride. Man, that flew right by. Probably not as quick as last game. You're probably like, come on. And we'll see how it goes. So the Oilers will have the day off tomorrow. And what would you do on your day off? You got the day before a big, you know what? I would do anything. You can't think about hockey 24/7. Rent some clubs, go golfing. Now, the thing is, if you went golfing, you probably have to go early. You don't want to go in the heat of the day because you don't want to tire yourself out. Maybe you go relax by a pool for a little bit, right? You're not going in the hot tub. Probably just go in the pool, like a nice, cool, probably get a massage maybe at some point. I'm going to have to track down someone who's, well, actually, you know what? We'll have a Stanley Cup winner on the show on Thursday to set up Game 4. I think you might like it, Oilers fans. I think you might like it. So it's coming up at 2:20 on Thursday. A little teaser for you. Hey guys, Macaulay, end of story. Like, are people mad at Macaulay? Like, why? Like, are we thinking that Macaulay is like not a good official now? Come on. He's been one of the best. Like, he ranks as one of the best officials. The players on the ice voted him one of the best refs in the league. So I don't know. You can get upset at him, but I'm not sold that that's it. Hey guys, I bet they go with Pickard. He came in last year to must win against Vancouver. He's done it before. For whatever reason, the team wins when he plays. From Penguin. Well, they have won. What are they? 7-1 in the two playoffs for him. It would be a bold decision. I'll say that. It would be a bold decision. It's hard to question it if they did it because of the past success of making that move. So, Knobloch knows his team. I think Knobloch has a sense of when it's the goalie, when it's the team, when it's both. So we'll see what decision he makes in goaltending. I know he said today that they haven't made a decision on their goaltending. Now, he said that numerous times in other series, and he always went with Skinner. So I don't know what to make of it, but it's a fair question. Hey guys, so Florida skates a lot less than Edmonton, right? They seem to have more energy. Well, you know what, Braden? I would say that last game, I don't know if I saw Florida have more energy in games 1 and 2, but yesterday, I just saw it from the jump. Florida was the better team. I'm not going to make excuses for Edmonton. Edmonton didn't play well. Full stop. You can try to look and convince yourself of why they didn't play well, but they didn't play well. Florida was better. Florida was quicker to pucks. Florida was more disciplined. They were more engaged. You know what? They made better plays. Like when their guys got chances on the power play, they hit their spots. Right? And the Oilers need to stop shooting the puck on the ice against Bobrovsky. Just stop it. It's not working. Right? It doesn't, unless you're trying to shoot the pad to get a rebound. I don't see why they're doing it. It hasn't worked. Now, if you're on a deke and you want to go around him and deke him, okay, sure. But the shooting from 25, 30 feet out directly on the ice is not working. I think you're wasting a good opportunity to go there. You just are. Right? Glove high is where he's the most susceptible. Now, just above the pad also. But if you're going to go high, go glove high. Blocker high, I know they scored once. But did you know that was the first goal this year? First goal this year. Blocker high in the playoffs on Bobrovsky. So it's not necessarily a place that I would look for on that. So, hey guys, I'm not sure how players can adapt with the ever-changing standard from game to game, period to period. Almost impossible to adapt. Gary's game managers change it on a whim. I don't know. We'll agree to disagree on that. Hey, Greg, I think the NHL is going to go in the direction the team should be building their teams with rougher edges like Florida to be more competitive. I'm just curious if we're heading in a new era like that, i.e. the Broad Street Bullies, with the new era to promote a different style of player like the Bennett Kachuk Kikes versus Crosby McDavids. Brad from North Side. Well, Brad, here's the thing. The reason Florida has success is because they've got a lot of them. So outside of Bennett, Kachuk, and Marchand, how many other rats are there, physical, energetic, skilled players in the league? How many more? They've got 3. Who else would we put in that category? Jamie Benn played that way. He's not that guy anymore. Is there, like, I'm trying to think. Hagel in Tampa Bay is 1. Cons, can you, like Evander Kane? He'd be 1. Who else? Right, like Edmonton, funny enough, like Edmonton's got a 40-year-old Corey Perry. He played that way. They got Kane. Like, maybe teams are going to look and say, those are the guys we want. But the truth of the matter is, you can talk to scouts, Brad. There's just not a lot of those players. So, no, I don't believe the NHL is going to head into that era because there's not a lot of players who play that way. It's a hard way to play. You got to have the mental fortitude to be a jerk and understand that the other team's going to want to get you. And a lot of people just don't want to be that guy. Like, you know what? Some people, like, look at Strutty. Strutty, he'll chirp all of you. He'll chirp all of us. When he played the game, he was a now Strutty fought, but he didn't say boo. Strutty really wasn't cheap on the ice. You didn't see him getting into scrums and sticking guys all the time, right? Wasn't his personality. And he loves chirping, but he didn't do it on the ice. Like, it's a hard on-ice persona to have because you have to have that persona and you have to have the skill to play in the NHL. So there's guys on the third and fourth lines, like AJ Greer. Sure, there's lots of fourth liners that will run around and hit you, but they don't have the skill to really beat you. Right? Tom Wilson, good point. From Teed, that's a very good one, right? Brady Tkachuk, yeah. Like, there's probably, 10 or 12 in the whole league amongst forwards? So my point is there's just not many of them. So I don't think the league's ever going to go to that. I think what happens is if you can construct a team and get more of them, then your odds of winning are going to go up. Right? Like, remember, like, Ovi was a little bit of a unicorn because Ovi, well, he wasn't necessarily cheap. He was really physical and he was really skilled. And then they had Wilson. So that's 2 of your top 6 guys. And now then you have skill guys, of course, Backstrom and other guys. Right? But even that other, there's a few other guys in that Washington team. Like TJ Oshie is not necessarily a shrinking violet by any stretch of the imagination. He wasn't, I wouldn't classify him as hugely physical. But he definitely played on the inside. But that Caps team, man, like, they had little guys with bite for sure. And it helped them. So I look at Florida, and they've got a great construction. You got skill guys. Barkov, really smart, great two-way player. Forsling, really good player. It's not overly physical. But the funny thing is, when you have more guys, everybody gets a little bit more physical, right? And hey, guess what? If you really want to go in the trenches, I don't think it's a surprise. They got Gadjevich. Gadjevich is one of the toughest guys in the league. Right? He can play aggressive. He can run around in the playoffs because he's not worried about it. Doesn't have to fight very often. Like, Nurse fought him, and it was a good fight. Right? But, that's a trade-off Florida would take all day long. So, yeah, I would say get more of those guys if you can. Connor Halley's got an update for you. Holy cow. The streak might continue another red-hot start. Connor will update you on that. We got lots more on the orders. Tomorrow, we got former NHL Coach of the Year. Ted Nolan is going to join us going into the Hall of Fame. We'll get to that and much, much more. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday evening. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and all of our guests, I'm Jason Gregor. We will chat with you tomorrow. Here's a comment, a Sports 1440 update brought to you by eWell, your partners in power since 1975. For all your electrical needs, think EWEL.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Oilers defenseman Jake Wallman received 2 separate $5,000 fines today for his actions in last night's loss to the Panthers, $5,000 for roughing Matthew Tkachuk, and another $5,000 for unsportsmanlike conduct when he squirted water into the bench of the Florida Panthers. And earlier today, Lane Hudson became the first Canadian player since Ken Dryden to win the Calder Memorial as the Rookie of the Year. He led all rookies in point production this past season with 6 goals and 60 helpers. The Stingers in action tonight down at the Expo Center, taking on the 2-4 Ottawa Blackjacks. That one gets going just after 7. Get tickets at thestingers.ca. And the Riverhawks on the road for the first time this season, kicking off a 3-game series in Kelowna up against the Falcons. First pitch, 6:35 at the Major League level. Toronto Blue Jays 3-0 lead in the middle of the first after Andres Gimenez had a 3-run shot over the Cards. Later tonight, you'll have the White Sox taking on the Astros, Rockies and Giants. The Athletics head to Anaheim. Padres host the Dodgers, and the Mariners taking on the Diamondbacks. And the Canadian men's national soccer team hosting Ivory Coast out in Toronto. That one gets going at 6:30. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio all night long. Tomorrow morning, live local coverage resumes 7 a.m. with the Kevin Carius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.